Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the second match of round 3 of Super Rugby Pacific 2022. The Fijian Drua host their own side in this matchup up against the Rebels. These guys at the moment are 12 and 11 on the table, but hopefully we do get to see a side propel themselves forward a little bit further in the competition. My words are already having a shocker because I am too excited after the last game, and the fact that we've got one more game a little bit later on tonight does make it just that bit more exciting. The Crusaders having themselves a win over Moana Pacifica, which does mean that they promote themselves into first as we are sitting currently, and the Fijian Drua, like I mentioned, and the Rebels, they are playing off here to see who can be victorious in this matchup. But do let me know your predictions, ladies and gentlemen, of who you think will be able to get themselves a win. We've got Crazy NC there. Also go Rebels, go from Xavier, who is, of course, a Rebel supporter through and through. We'll be hoping that they can get themselves a big win here into this match up against the Fijian Drua. Although this game, for me, I think it could be relatively close depending on how it goes. Hopefully, Carter Gordon can step up, needs to improve after his bad form to start the season. Rebel by 10 in there, says Xavier, because we do see that Resoji is unavailable to play for this game, unfortunately for himself, getting suspended after the last game, which does mean that he is going to be missing for the next week. Luckily, it's only a 1 week suspension, although even a 1 week one will feel like too long for Resoji. He would have loved to be able to get himself back out on the field, try and redeem himself after what happened last time. But now we will go through these starting lineups and reserves of both of these sides. We'll start with the home side in the Fijian Drua, and they are going to be, as far as the front row, it's going to be Ulia Kepa, Ikanaveri, sorry, I should say, and then also Samu Tawaki. Anyone who is wondering about the game between New Zealand and the West Indies, I believe New Zealand just lost up against the West Indies for the Women's World Cup. So not a start to the Cricket World Cup that they would have been after. The locking duo is going to be Nasila Sila, and then also next to him it is Rotoi Silia, who is there at number 5. I do apologize if some of these pronunciations are a little bit rough as well. I am slowly working on them as we make our way through the season. Darren Alangi going to be there at number 6 with Mira at number 7 and Charika Davita at number 8. I'm excited to see what he can do there because we do know from Super Rugby, not Super Rugby, from the Bunnings NBC for Tasman, he was very good off the back of a scrum. No matter where they put him, whether it's 4, whether it's 6, whether it's 8, he likes his even numbers and he certainly likes scoring tries, although that's 5 points for a try. So I guess he might have to allow that one. It does mean that he does score himself some points, but Matawalu going to be there at number 9 with Caleb Munst once again at 10. Baden Kerr slots in at fullback, I will mention, because he was actually there at number 10 for the last matchup. Not the last one, but the one prior to that, I should say. And then also in the back line, Ravuvu is there in the midfield alongside Vota, same as last week. And then I will be Habosi out on the left wing. And then on the right wing, or on the right wing, I should say, it is going to be Rav. Oh, that's a hard name. I think he came off the bench last week, so I was saved for a little bit longer. Ravu Tau Mada is going to be there at number 14 for the Fijian Drua. And who do you go for? And then what's the score margin for this game? And play to watch from both teams, says Eddie. It's rapid firing questions at the moment, so I will quickly ask, or no, I won't ask, I will answer those questions. First of all, who do I go for? Out of these two sides, I just hope both of them do well because I do enjoy watching both of them play. Baden Kerr, or B Kerr, that is Baden Kerr, of course, ex-Kiwi, was playing a little bit in New Zealand for the Chiefs, I want to say, but I could be wrong there. What's the score margin for this game? I think one of these teams are going to win it by 10 to 20. Not too sure who it's going to be, and also player to watch from both teams. I would say for this Fijian Drua lineup, I will go Charika Davida off the back of the scrum because I just love watching that man in action. And also Habosi is another player that I will give a quick shout out to for the Fijian Drua. Looking through at the Rebels, we will go through their starting lineup. Then I'll tell you who I'm looking out for into this game. Cameron Orr, James Hansen, and Kobus Eloff as the front row. Phillip and Canham going to be the two locks. Michael Wells, Tamati Ioane at number 8, and then Brad Wilkin is going to be there at number 7. Joe Powell, Matt Tamua does get the opportunity to go at 10 with Carter Gordon now slotting in at fullback. That is due to the suspension that we saw of Reece Hodge. Then in the backline, Rainuu Ripley going to be there at number 13. Vaihu at 11, and then it will be Tonu Mapaya who is out there on the other wing. For this lineup, for me, I would say Tamati Ioane. He looked impressive off the bench in the last match. And also Matt Phillip at line-out time is going to be so important for the Rebels to be able to get quick ball and maybe the line-out. The line-out turnover could be quite useful. The Rebels as well, says winner there. And also for the Fijian Drua, their bench, it is Dolokoto, Savuli, Saulo, Rarasia. It is Nasova, Avuta, Tela, and then it is Matai Tiwa I believe it is, for the pronunciation of the number 23. Then it is Ma'ufu for the Rebels. Adio Kalia. They've decided to go with all the hard names for their forward replacements by the looks of it. Van Nick going to be there as well at number 18. Hill, Wallace, Tuttle, Just, and then Verdugo. There is a Hamish shocking for New Zealand women's team. They lost West Indies by 3 runs. I did see that. They were actually paying $1 here on the TAB. I do keep an eye on the odds for all of the competitions going on around the world, just because they are a very good way of being able to work out who is sitting where. And currently, for this game, the Fijian Drua were about $4.20 underdogs. That tells you that everyone feels that the Rebels should be able to get over the line. But I would say this is the Fijian Drua's best opportunity. Try and get themselves an upset win, an upset opening game for the Women's World Cup. And their massive upset in the Ladies Cricket World Cup, mate, and the White Ferns came short. Says Sebastian, I guess they might just be trying to save my voice, because I did mention that if they make it through to the semis and the quarters, I think it was for those two, I was going to be doing a lot more commentary. So maybe they're like, you know what, talk's enough already. We'll just try and, of course, they didn't lose on purpose, but hopefully they do fire back in their next game. But the West Indies, dream start for them in the competition. But currently, looking through at the Fijian Drua, what we have got to expect from them in the near future, I believe that they are somewhere along these lines. That is the Blues. They're not who we want. That is the Rebels. That is actually a useful side here. So the Fijian Drua game, that is actually now. Then they have got the Brumbies next week, the Waratahs the week after, and then that will be followed by the Fijian Drua rematch. For the Fijian Drua, though, here they are. Right, we have got them with the Reds next week, the Western Force the week after, and then they have got their rematch with the Rebels, like I just mentioned. So these two sides, they probably won't forget each other too quickly, I wouldn't think. They'll only just play off, and then they've got to play again for them. But these are the games that are taking place tomorrow as well, for anyone who is curious. An upset opening game of the Women's World Cup, says Vishal, and also both teams coming in from a 2-loss winning streak, or sorry, a 2 losing streak games. Who do you reckon will get the W? And whoever loses the game will be in the last standings for the season. Do you agree? Says Ed. I would say still very early to tell overall, but I think for me, the loser of this game, they will definitely be in the bottom 3, I believe. I'm not going to say they're going to be right at the bottom, just because they might end up getting up a little bit more. And also, Jay sends his love. He'll be sure to pop in when his health recovers. And as the time recovers, is he all right? Sebastian, I do see he was picking a fight with Henry earlier on, because Henry said his birthday was near, and Jay said no one cares, which is a brutal response, isn't it? And also, cricket, we're going to make Orlando angry in there, says Gareth. I'm sure a little bit of cricket won't hurt him too badly for this one. But currently, this is actually how the standings will be next week, or the fixtures will be next week, I should say. Blues versus Highlanders in a rematch of the Super Rugby Trans-Tasman final. Rebels taking on the Brumbies. Then the Hurricanes versus Moana Pacifica, the earlier game on the Saturday. 3 in a row we have got for Saturday, same as tomorrow. We have got the 3 in a row. Crusaders versus Chiefs, Reds versus Fijian Drua should be a good game. And then the Waratahs taking on the Western Force as the final game of the weekend. But there's plenty more, because we got the Six Nations. As I know, Australia struggling versus Pakistan, live score 106 for 1. What do you think, Hamish? What will be the scoreline at the end of the series? Who will win it? Says Coding. Have they got 3 matches or 4, Coding? Do let me know before I do give my prediction. But I think Pakistan take the first one. They know the conditions better, even though they haven't had a lot of experience in their own conditions. They have still certainly got that little bit of an advantage playing the PSL very recently. So a lot of their players, hi guys, I said, Hamish, do you remember me? Of course I do. Hi guys, hope you are doing well. I hope you are excited for some more rugby, some more cricket just around the corner. But do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who will be the first try scorer of this match. Normally the Australian games start about 5 minutes after schedule, so we're probably looking at another 12 minutes or so. It could be 7 though. Few appointments from with the doctors, some health-related stuff he has to take care of. But everything's just taking precautions as well. 3-match test series. So I think I'm going 2-1 Pakistan, but there's a chance that Australia could win 2-1. I think no matter what, both sides get themselves some form of victory, though, in that series. And I think that's why the series is going to be so exciting. We are going to be covering as much of that series as we physically can on the channel, overlapping with pretty much any games of Super Rugby. So we will be doing day 3, day 4, and day 5 of that matchup. But currently, the Fijian Drua versus the Rebels. A few facts to do with this match. I will read them off for you guys. You know exactly what to expect from this one, although there is something that we do have for the Fijian Drua side, and that is the world of the unknown. These guys haven't been around in Super Rugby for very long. In fact, it's been 2 weeks since they got added to the competition, so there's going to be a lot still to be I guess, discovered and Windies women just won New Zealand women in the first match of the ICC Cricket World Cup. We did see that. And yeah, not the start that the Kiwis would have been after losing that one by the 3 runs. The Fijian Drua will host their first game in Super Rugby, facing the Melbourne Rebels at Suncorp Stadium. They have lost their first 2 games in the competition and conceded 40-plus points in both for the Fijian Drua. So 40-plus points would theoretically mean that the Rebels, can they get 40-plus points though? And also, we have got the Melbourne Rebels have won more total lineouts, 30, and stolen more opponent lineouts than any other team in the competition. And that is down to that experience of Matt Phillip. He does do very nicely for himself, helping his side out at lineout time. And Tamati Ioane, last stat that we will say, has made 16 carries per 80 minutes in the 2022 Super Rugby Pacific campaign, the second most of any player to have played at least 40 minutes this season, and Reece Marshall was ahead of him for that one. But those are a few of the stats. Looking at this one, just off Rat Coley's dismissal, bold, clean, brutal. And there's Sebastian. I haven't seen it yet, but I assume anytime that man gets bowled, like someone's going to get possibly yelled at, I would think, for that one as well. But currently now, we are sitting only around 5 minutes away from this game getting underway. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. This game is going to be taking place in Brisbane, and it is the first home game for the Fijian Drua. They want to prove themselves. I made a new YouTube channel. By the way, it's Henry Samuel for Sam Henry Football. I did see on the Discord before you did say about it. So, yeah, hopefully your channel does go well, mate, for yourself. But currently now the Fijian Drua, this is round 3 and their 3rd ever match of the Super Rugby Pacific competition. They had a couple preseason games. They didn't go too badly, but this game, it is a big one. The Rebels away from home. This would be a huge win if they can do so. Oh, the UFC 272 is actually on Sunday. That's at 4 p.m. Covington versus Masvidal. I might have to watch that one. I'm so happy, says Paddy Wagon. You're so happy. Why are you so happy, Paddy? Do let me know. But it is good news that you are so happy. So because no, you're not a Crusader supporter. Why are you so happy, Paddy? Do let me know. Currently, the starting 15, they are just showing them once again. I will also do the same for the Fijian Drua. They have got a strong lineup here for themselves. We will go like that. And this is who they have got. Ulia Kepa, Ekanaveri, and Tawaki in the front row. Then it is Nasila Sila and Roitoi Solia, who is there at 5. Dirialangi, Mira, and Chirika Davita there at number 8. Matawalu, Muntz, Ravuvu, Vota, Habosi, Baidenker, and then the man's name who doesn't quite roll off the tongue. It is Ravutao Mara. I keep on going too much in there as well. But that is the Fijian lineup that they have got for themselves. This is the Rebel side that they have got. And also I had my first on-road driving as well. So hopefully it did go smoothly for yourself, mate. And also morning David in there. And also Virat Clean Bold. It's always a treat. Says Gareth and I, Hamish, Sebastian, Kiwi lads and lasses. Hope everyone is safe and well. We are indeed. And also I will ask for a GoPro. We have a local turf, so I put it in the goal. And my brother will take shots and make football challenges. And there, I think that is from Henry Samuel. But currently, this game's going to be a good one. This is the lineup that the Rebels have gone with. Or Hansen and Elof, Phillip and Canham. Then it is also Wells, Wilkin, and Tamati Ioane. I always say Tamati because it's Tamati Williams for the Crusaders. Joe Bell, Matt Tamua, Ray Nu'u, then Ripley, Tono Mapaya, and then Vaihu and Gordon. That is the starting lineup that the Rebels have gone with. We have also got the guess out of 10, how well I did. I assume first ever on-road driving. I'll give you a 6 or somewhere around there. I feel like it wouldn't have been too smooth, but it wouldn't have been too bad either. Everyone has to start from somewhere for it type thing. And also, and radio, I can listen to this, says Panaman. So at this stage, unfortunately, due to match audio and footage being copyrighted, we do just have to do the commentary. So I do apologize for not being able to show the game, but we will be doing the live commentary throughout this one. So be sure to stick around. Hey, mate, I'm back. Just tested positive for COVID 20 minutes ago, says Riser. So that is no good, mate. So hopefully you do end up recovering very quickly. But currently, Matt Phillip, he's been impressive. Lineouts 1. He's been able to get himself 13. Okay, so I said 8 when he asked me. And there says Betty Wagon. And also we have got there, can you please subscribe after this game? Straight after this game, we have actually got our next game, which is going to be the Western Force taking on the Reds. And LJ has put hi there in the chat. Welcome into the live stream, mate. Currently now only a couple minutes away from the kickoff of this game. It will be the Fijian Drua at home. And good job, because he said 10 out of 10. And there says Betty Wagon. Geez, 10 out of 10 is very impressive on yourself. So I'm sure you'll be fine when you do get to your course. I feel like a 6 is probably how I did. I wasn't that flash, first of all, because I did love going slow, but you got to go slightly quicker than slow, unfortunately. You can't just cruise around at 30 and a 50. And also playing FIFA 22, watching your live stream and drinking chocolate milk. This is Sam Henry. So a perfect combination. A good evening, David Petty, and everyone who's tunes in. Happy Super Rugby all, says Sebastian there. And speaking of Super Rugby, I should also mention we did film this morning the video of me and Maxi doing his birthday Q&A. That will be out probably midweek next week, just so that I do have time to edit it. It is about 45 minutes long. So it's going to be a long one, but there are some interesting moments in there. There was one part that I couldn't stop laughing, unfortunately, because of a story that he did let us know about. And also, I'm just wondering about the Six Nations won't show on Sky Sport. Is it on this week on Sky Sport? It is next week. They have decided to take a bye week for the Six Nations. And I did do the 7 simulators, which helped out, as you can see as well, says Paddy Wagon. And also, can you please make a rugby challenge for live stream on Friday night, says Henry. Friday night, we've got Super Rugby. Will be around the corner. So we will be doing Super Rugby Friday night next week. And I believe that will be Highlanders versus Blues, followed by Brumbies taking on the Rebels, I believe it will be. And on the 18th of March, says Sam Henry, what do we got on the 18th? I will have a look, but more than likely we've probably got Super Rugby on a Friday night. They do seem to have Super Rugby a majority of the time on the Fridays. But currently Fiji, they are well and truly fired up for this game. The Fijian Drua home game for themselves. Can they get the job done here and get their first win? But the Rebels are also trying to get their first win. Fijian Drua will win, says it was Kusa there. Hopefully they do have a good performance. Like we mentioned, a stat to do with this, even though I feel like the stat will definitely change in the future. They did concede 40 points in both of their first games. That is not happening this game, though. I feel like the Fijian Drua are certainly going to be able to fight hard and get themselves in a good position. Draw as well. Says Sakusa there. We will move this over here. We will put up this as well. There we go. And we will go like that. There we go. We have got ourselves our team lineups right next to the field. Right, we are ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Ready for another match of Super Rugby. We've got the Western Force game that is taking place a little bit later on tonight. They are playing the Reds. What should be an exciting contest. The Reds actually the only side to be defeated by the Western Force, or they were actually the only side who were able to get the victory over the Reds, the Western Force, that is, in the last year's Super Rugby AU. But the Fijian Drua side, they are looking ready for a fight out there. And that is exactly what the Rebels should be expecting. But anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hurricanes game tomorrow. There's Sam Henry there. It should be a very good one. Hurricanes versus Highlanders. That is going to be the second game, 7:05 p.m. We will be back for that game also. The Sean Big Ulia Kepa, he is a beast in the front row. I'm just proud, like I say, one or two more. I'll have my restricted as well. There's Paddy Wagon. So hopefully you do pass for it first time and you are able to get yourself that restricted. But now Matt Timor will be kicking off this one. This game is being played in Brisbane, home game for the Fijian Drua. And now Matt Timor are going to be kicking off this one. They are wearing the away kit here for the Rebels. Doesn't quite know what side he wants to kick to. Now he has kicked off, and this game is going to be underway. Kicked off long. It's a big kick from Timor, just out from the in-goal area. And Vorti now going to be running it forward. In fact, it's Vorta there. Currently 10 meters out, firing it back nicely once again. And the Fijian Drua, I assume they're going to be kicking this one towards the touchline sometime soon, but it looks like Matawalu says, come on, big forwards, we'll get a couple more meters. Now he fires it back into the pocket, and Caleb Muntz does kick it towards touch. Does fine touch as well, and it's going to be about 25 meters out now that the line-out throw will be in favour of the Rebels. I'm going to pass it easy. And there says Paddy Wagon, so that is good news for yourself. And yeah, then you'll be able to drive by yourself. European caveman here. What does restricted mean, please? So pretty much restricted is our, what's it called in Europe? I can't quite think of the name. Tamati Ioane driving forward once again. Pretty much it is you are allowed to drive by yourself within certain hours, but you're not allowed passengers. So it's kind of halfway in between the two. Carter Gordon, good backline movement here, stepping on the inside. Only a meter short now for the Rebels. Joe Powell now going back to Matt Phillip, 5 meters out, getting driven backwards in the tackle. Currently, it's looking very good for them, though. Going to be the big man at number 5 for this game, which is Josh Canham, first carry for the Rebels of 2022. Elof pass it back across. Advantage for the Fijian Drua being offside here, and the Rebels have started this match like a house on fire, and they continue to build their way forward to 8 phases now with the advantage in hand. Joe Powell now out the back line. Good bit of draw and pass, spin out, flick pass. Carter Gordon draw and pass, and it's going to be scored by Vaihu. In fact, no, it wasn't scored by Vaihu. It was on the other wing. Tono Mapaya has been able to score. He did actually get to start last week. That was due to an injury for the Rebels, and that is going to be his try. So the Rebel try scorers, that is exactly how they wanted to start that match. That is for sure. Try scorers, we will go like that. And it was a hard name to spell, that is for sure, but we will get it up so I can spell it. It was just good structure in the back line. They kept on going across, and they were able to get that draw and pass right across. Now, it was actually well done by Carter Gordon. He easily could have decided he wanted to try and take on the line himself and try and get over the line. Instead, with the pass on the outside, Tono Mapaya is able to score. And can I please be moderated now, because I've been subscribed since 989 subscribers on your channel as well. And there says Henry 71. Moment, I've got to move this, and I'm going to move this as well. There we go. And also, go Rebels, try, says Xavier. And also, you're not allowed passengers. The only reason I got my license is to drive ladies around. Can't comprehend the point on this restricted shenanigans. I mean, not to make it any better, you can drive your family members, but of course, they're not the ladies you're after, Sebastian. Only passengers you can have is your spouse or your children as well, says not mum there. I know, not to get too confident, but how can you not be when you did this good as well, says Fatty Wagon there. And also, we have got there, go Rebels, finally a try. They've done very nicely. First try of the match coming extremely quickly for them there, the Rebels. And now 3 minutes into this game, the Fijian Drua, they are under pressure, but they can certainly fight back if they do decently. And Matt Tamua right from the sideline, not going to be an easy kick at all, but we'll be trying to line it up, get us side some extra points. It's looking pretty good. It disappeared into the light. It's gone straight over from Matt Tamua, and now the score 7-0 in favour of the Rebels after only 3.5 minutes. Incredible start to the match for the Rebels, and a side that haven't really been able to score a huge amount of tries as of late, but now they have done very nicely and been able to get themselves one. Xavier Brown, next try for the Rebels. Who are you picking for this one? I did go with, I think I went with Tamati Ioane, just because it's an easier name to say than young Tono Mapaya. So I'll go with Vaihu out on the other wing now. If it is the Rebels, or if it is going to be a Fijian Drua player, I'll go Chirika Davita. Does score it, getting wrestled backwards there. It was Wilkin. It's inside of the 22, so Joe Powell is able to kick this one for the touchline if he does decide to. It looks like there are plenty of big forwards who are protecting this ball on the side of the Rebels. Kicked high. It's going to be a hard one to take. It looks like slightly changing his line a little bit there. It's going to be the big knock on, though. It was their fallback. And also can't wait to see the Phoenix at Sky Stadium again. See, that's probably coming up relatively soon as well, isn't it? For the Wellington Phoenix. Hopefully they do get a few games in New Zealand. If it's not this season, then hopefully it's next season, because I know that every time it seems like they're going to have more games here, it seems to be something else changes and then they're not able to. But that was put down. That man's not Baden Kerr. I know what Baden Kerr looks like. That is not Baden Kerr. What's happened to Baden Kerr? Who stole Baden Kerr? Okay, that will be Matai Tiwa is actually there. Matai Tiwa is going to be at fullback. Okay, Baden Kerr's gone missing. I know we were mentioning about how he plays about 15 different positions. So I guess he's not in the starting lineup. I've just spotted a loophole. You can convince a lady to marry you just so you can drive her around. I imagine someone must have done that with a facade or facade. Facade? Hopefully I've said that. Fashid. Fakid. Fadid. Fashid. I know the word, but I can't say it, unfortunately. And also we have got there, I like the Vegas ones. And have you heard of the protests in Wellington? Not completely. I haven't really been following what's happening in terms of who's protesting where. I just watch rugby. Pretty much. That's my day-to-day life. I get up, go, right, see if we can pronounce some players today. That's actually Ravatau Mother who's at fullback. So I think they've got someone else out on the wing by the looks of it. That's going to be a 4-pass from the Rebels. And now the Fijian Drua have got this one about 40 metres out. Vaihu just getting a little bit too flat to Reinu'u. Was ready for it at first receiver. There's some big boys in this pack for not just the Fijian Drua, but also for the Rebels. They've got some very strong players. Well, Moana Pacifica did well against Best Super Rugby team. Says Betty Wigan. They did very well. And it was up until maybe the last 10 minutes or so when the Crusaders scored 2 tries. Other than that, they were doing well. Why is Chirika Davita still number 28? Did someone lose his number? Because he's number 8 for this game, but he was 28 last week coming off the bench. I guess it's the easiest way of standing out. You just go for a number no one else on the field is going to have. And also this kid should be years though. Don't just grab any kid you find in the street. Or the kid should be yours though, I think I should say. for that one. Yeah, that's a good bit of advice. Unless you're a taxi driver, I guess, is the only time it's acceptable to have random strangers in your car that you don't know. I guess that's probably good life advice, kind of, but not really as well. It'll be a good run forward now. Believe that was Habosi. Continuing to try and drive themselves forward. Fijian Drua currently sitting 35 out. Roland Matawalu going to the short side. Caleb Muntz now at the Vota. Does continue to drive forward. Amishbro Rebels open the account of points they did indeed, but now seems like the Fijian Drua might not be too far away from getting themselves their own points. Wilkins having to make a big tackle there on Mira. Still actually standing though. Matawalu now passing it back across to Muntz. Driving very nicely forward the Fijian Drua, put in phase after phase. Matawalu now goes out to Muntz one more time. Rasile in the midfield. Hello. Disappointing New Zealand lost to West Indies. Yeah, I did see that. Not what they would have been wanting. Another great run forward from Mira. Now it will be passed back. Matawalu goes to Muntz. That seems to be the 19 combo they will be going with thoroughly throughout the Super Rugby season. Now in the fullback jersey, not Baden Kerr. He is actually missing from this game. I believe it could be a late injury that did have him out. Now it will be Nasila once again. For another carry. Muntz floating it back. The ball's been dropped. Did it go forward? It is going to be claimed by the Rebels now inside of the 22. Charged down there. And now it's going back for the original scrum we have got there. Yeah, just because he's offering you sweets doesn't necessarily mean he's a good man. That is true. In 21-12, after 69 minutes, I think Moana will do better if they do this, but get better. And there says Paddy Wagon also how could be in the Super Rugby final, or who could be in the Super Rugby finals, I believe that is, from Sam Henry. I would say there's a lot of potential here. Like for me, the Western Force are top 8. The way that they've been playing is very impressive. Another team that looks like they could be top 8 is Moana Pacifica. They seem like they have got a little bit of that fighting spirit. Fijian Drua, I feel, if they can put it together for the later stages of the season and cause a couple of upsets up against New Zealand sides, maybe not this season, but next season they will certainly be right up there, I think. And then I would say also alongside that, the usual ones such as the Crusaders, Blues, Hurricanes, etc. Go Drua as well. Says it was Sakiusa there. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your first name correctly. Is it Sakiusa? Sakiusa? Please do let me know if I am saying that wrong. Funny thing, an ex-boyfriend of mine got his restricted in 1993. When we broke up, he still had his restricted that around 1995 continued as on there. Says Novmum, and also we have got there Tosa Drua and there, and bro, Moana Pacifica win this game or not? No, unfortunately, Moana Pacifica, they did lose to the Crusaders, but the Fijian Drua, they'll be trying their best to be able to fight hard and get a win up against the Rebels. And also, I set my full in 2002. He still did not have his full license 2 years after sitting my full. He still not have his, so although he had been driving longer than me, I could have been a supervisor if he had to take a passenger. Says Novmum there. That's going to be now not straight from the Fijian Drua. Unfortunately, Akinaviri just getting it a little bit wrong. And now the scrum feed does go the way of the Rebels from about 38 meters out from the Drua line. Go Drua, or go Fiji. Go from the Moana Pacifica supporter. And there says Leo, and that's I guess that's the cool thing about Super Rugby. No matter who you go for, like there's still going to be, I guess, alliances that you do have, such as, I mean, you've got the Fijian Drua. They are with Moana Pacifica 2 times they take on each other, but you know it's going to be physical. You know it's going to be full of heart. But when these sides aren't playing each other, they're going to be going for each other. And that is just kind of that mindset of the Pacific Islands, which is something that I think is brilliant to have in Super Rugby. We have got there, sounds like GTA style driving on his part. As Alexis Sebastian there, the rolling maul starting to open up here for the Rebels, starting to get it going for James Hansen at the back. It's creeping forward quite nicely now, moving 30 meters out. Joe Bell goes back. Rain Nu'u, first receiver, now out to Matt Tamua. Carter Gordon drops the ball, making the mistake now, looking for the offload here, possibly for the Fijian right winger. And also, I got confused on Force and Reds game, but it's at midnight, as says Betty. So, yeah, it is a confusing one, seeing as it does count as a tomorrow game. I guess that's going to be dropped by the Drua, but we will be going back for the original knock-on from the Rebels. My old account was my school account, so my old teacher changed my password to it. So that is why I'm using a different account. Says Sam Henry there. Carter Gordon, he's having a bit of a shocking start to the season, it's fair to say. No matter who's wearing that number 15 jersey for the Rebels, it seems to be that way, because Reece Hodge getting a 1-week suspension last week. That was from 2 yellow cards that he did get. One for a deliberate knockdown, and then the other, I believe, what did he get for the other one? Research, I think it was in the end. What was it? I know that he got away with the deliberate knockdown as one of his other ones. Was it a little bit too high from Research or something along those lines that did end up getting him with his other yellow? But now Joe Powell feeding this ball in 45 out from their own line and also show game in there. Unfortunately, licensing, as you know, does exist. That's going to be the Fijian Drua to get themselves the penalty now. 45 out. They could go for the 3, but I think more than likely the better option for the Fijian Drua here is to go for the full 7 points available. I think Elof might have been the man who went down just a little bit too early there. And now the Fijian Drua, they have kicked this one for the corner up to the 22 and continuing to build for themselves. Anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're going to be back with every single Fijian Drua game of Super Rugby, and not just every single Fijian Drua game, every single game of Super Rugby. And go Fiji, go Fiji Drua. Says it was Sakiusa there. But now Ikanaviri has got an important throw. Try and get right. They did mess up the last one, but the Rebels, they actually have the most line-out steals in the competition, and that's going to be taken nicely, though. And at the draw, they're going to be able to hang on to it, even though it went over the top of the line-out. Still got this one in hand, and it is going to be Tawake now on Super Rugby Channel for highlights, Mr. Spencer. As there's Sebastian now running their way forward. It's going to be Vorta up to the 20 metres. Out from the line now, Matawalu going back across. Will be Rasilasila. Matawalu goes to Muntz. Now out to the number 5 for this match, the lock. Tackled by Elof. Currently, there's a lot of physical men out on the field, currently running it back across field. And also Vanasi has said, show the game. See what you've started, Amish Spencer. Unfortunately, due to copyright, we are unable to show any match footage or audio, but Super Rugby's YouTube channel will have the highlights of this match, so I highly recommend them if you do want to find yourself some highlights of this game after the match is over. Now Matawalu now going back across. The hands are Mira. 25 out, and the Fijian Drua phase after phase starting to build. And CIF's backing shot game as well, says Aaron Spencer now going forward. Great fend there in the Fijian Drua score between the sticks, and I believe it was Habossi who was able to score it, and the Drua get themselves the try. Now the Fijian Drua, that is one of the first tries that we have seen from them, not just in this game, but of the Super Rugby season. I think they've only got maybe one other, but the Fijian Drua, they have scored themselves the try, and it is going to be Habotsi was able to score it, and that is after 14 minutes. It's just a powerful run from the Flying Fiji, and exactly what we expect to see from them. And that is going to be a perfect try for Habotsi to get himself on the score sheet, and also All Blacks for New Zealand games. And there says Henry Samuel, and also we have got there, watch out Fiji in 2023 World Cup, same group as Wales and Australia. Why not Fiji? Not so good at 15 as 7s. Imagine how good they can be. Oh. Okay, on-field try, but they're checking something out. And try to the draw. Let's go and go, Drua, go. And then out from it was Sakiusa. And also I give you 5 minutes to check out. Well, I'll give you 5 minutes to check out the Crusaders highlight. There, but that is going to be now going upstairs. Well, this one, Damon Murphy in charge of this game. What has he seen here, or what has maybe one of the touch judges seen? Okay, they're checking the ruck here for Fijian Drua in the lead up to that try. What do we got? Okay, the angles are coming. We're waiting a little while, but hopefully it's not going to be something too serious. It would be a shame to have the Fijian Drua's first try in this match ruled out. And Abulisi was looking very good. Right. Okay, what are we looking at here? So it was Mira. Did end up going round. I think they're trying to say maybe Tamati Williams. Okay. It's no try. Wow. That's a big call. My oldest brother was in the Phoenix Academy, and he could have been in FIFA 21 and FIFA 22. That's a huge moment in this game. I'm almost speechless from that one. Just feel so bad for the Fijian Drua. They worked hard for that try, but they've said because there was one man who was slightly in front who arguably wasn't actually involved in, I guess, what was happening in the play. They said that because he's in front at the ruck, that counts as offside. And now Matt Tamua is going to be able to kick this one for the touchline. The crowd felt hard done by Fijian Drua, they will be in over that. And I'm impressed at how quickly they upload the highlights. The URC channel takes 3 or 4 days. You forget who's played by the time they upload. And there says Sebastian, yeah, they're very quick, the Super Rugby ones. You feel like they've already got like 90% of the highlights done at 80 minutes type thing. Like they seem to do them as they go and just have someone straight away like that. It's only like, it's within half an hour of the game finishing, isn't it, normally? But now it's going to be Ray Nu'u with a good attacking run here for the Rebels. Now, can the Fijian Drua, can they get that try back that they almost had there? Matt Phillip trying to spin out of the tackle. Now, Phillip going back once again. Oh, sorry, it was actually knocked down. Was it on purpose, though? That's going to be the big question here. He's not happy about it. The Fijian winger, who wasn't actually going to be starting as the Fijian winger for this match. Knock on by Blue, they have just called it. But again, just a handling error for the Fijian Drua. If that one was held by him, that would have been possibly dangerous. Ratu Amanda. Oh, no, it was Ravutamanda who was there at number 14. So who's at 15? Because Baden Kerr certainly isn't. I believe it is actually the man off the bench to mention a little bit earlier on. But now the scrum feed in favour of the Rebels. They're going to be about 22 metres out from the line and will be looking to try and drive their way towards the try line disallowed as well. And there says Sebastian, yeah, pretty rough for the Fijian Drua. Is that their second or third disallowed try they've had so far this season? Seems to be quite a few times that it has happened for them. This one has gone down on the far side and also got my license at 15, I think, did the theory, and then drove around the block a couple of times with a traffic cop. And if you didn't fail, you got your license all in one day, says David the Mite. Yeah, so it's changed quite a bit because now you've got your learners, which you're on for 6 months, restricted, which you're on for 18 months or 1 year if you do a defensive driving course. And then after that, you go for your full, which is kind of spotting the hazards. So I think and try again, Drew, never give up. We can do it in the sevens. We can do it in Super Rugby, and lots of deletes there. Free speech sacks might get triggered as well, says Sebastian there. Or sorry, says Gareth, but that's going to be going back now once again. Forward pass by the Rebels. And now because of it, it does mean that the Fijian Drua will now get themselves the scrum feed. But yeah, Joe Powell hit hard in the tackle by Mira, which did put extra pressure on him. Didn't want his ribcage to be outside of his body. So decided to throw that one nice and early, but still didn't quite get it to go backwards. He's disappointed with himself for that one. Jeff Parling kind of looks like someone. Kind of looks like Tyson Fury at a real distance, but I don't think that's probably the closest relation that we have got. But Sunshine Coast Stadium is the host stadium of this one. The Fijian Drua, their first home game of many that we are going to get to see. But I feel like it's not a home game for the Fijian Drua till we get to see them go to Fiji. Hopefully they do get to by the end of the season. If not next season, hopefully they get a couple weeks of games to make up for it. And we have to buy our licenses, says Gareth there. And also I'm hoping he comes back. I feel like I'm using someone, says Sebastian. Yeah, he's got the dot there. But Amy Spencer, I think he has returned to Mati. Ioane there just doing a bit of a forward roll. Passing it back once again. Sila, good run forward. It's going to be a penalty there. And 5 minutes went quick. And what is it? And there says Sam Henry. What is it? What is it? What is what, Sam Henry? Do let me know, mate. And 5 minutes went quick. It flies by in Super Rugby, like literally just like that. 5 minutes gone. Like we're already 20 minutes into this game. And I feel like I've watched like 5. And Fiji Best as well. And this is Edna. And they are certainly a strong side, the Fijians. And also, what is it like watching rugby for YouTube? As I said, Henry, I like it. I mean, it's just a simple way of being able to watch, I guess, more rugby, but also it just adds that interaction, which I feel like you can't get unless you're actually at the ground or like in a massive room with a whole heap of people. And someone said on Discord, I not like on the Kiwi Lads. I hope I am not as on there. Says Brandon there. I'm sure you liked on the Kiwi Lads, mate. And also they fly by quick when you're used to it. Bless you, Mr. Spencer, says Sebastian. Also, I love to see New Zealand coach around. Here's Gareth there as well. But currently quite a few stoppages throughout the early stages of this match. It is going to be just a little bit wonky there by the looks of it. Don't you itch my eye? Don't you hate when you get an itchy eye? And you don't really know whether or not itching it will make it feel any better or worse. So you do it and then you learn that it will make it feel worse. Although it doesn't feel too bad at the moment. It was just itchy from staring at a light. Don't stare at light, ladies and gentlemen. Does hurt the eyes, but now it's going to be a good run forward from the almost try scorer there. Vota now be continuing to drive his way forward. The Rebels trying to stop this one from going forward too far. He has found his way to the ground, though. Now Matawalu going short side here. Good link-up play. Munts out to Tarika Davida. Drawing pass now. Down the wing. Good ball on the inside to Mira Mira. He's managed to just stay in the field of play, or the sun. Oh, that is also true. And I was like, hello, Brandon. How's it going, buddy? And there from David the Mod continuing to drive their way forward. It was Rasila Sila. I believe it, or Nasila Sila, I should say. Rush defense from Wells has worked out nicely on the halfway line, though. The Fijian Drua continue to build Munts on the outside. They just seem like they are very close to being able to get their line break, but just not quite able to break through. And I've done 3 hours and 27 minutes on Twitch with 9,043 people. Says Brandon there. That is very impressive indeed. Currently now going back across Matawalu. Now off to Olia Kepa. Continue wing. That was a weird way of saying it, but continuing to drive their way forward. Vota met by the big man Cannon has been able to stop him. What's Twitch? It's pretty much, I guess it's like YouTube, but just live streaming type thing. Although it does have videos as well. That's going to be the penalty for the Rebels. And also we have got there, do you have the Met service app? I do not. I assume that's the weather one, isn't it? And also what's Twitch? And also Mad 900. And there it says Brandon. But currently Vota ripped to the ground by, it was the big man Josh Canham who is getting a good opportunity. And then Wilkin straight on the ball. Brad Wilkin ends up winning the penalty. Even though his hands weren't actually on the ball, he was actually over the body, not the ball. But does end up winning the penalty for not releasing. Matt Demua now kicks it into touch. And also, you should get it. As on Twitch is an adult website, there are, what is it that's the trend now? Or that used to be the trend? Is it like you sit in a hot tub or a bath or something? Is it a bath or hot tub on Twitch? Or a pool? Something to do with water. You get in water and people love it, apparently. But now going back across, Wilkin gives it off to Tamati Ioane. And also, what up? Western Force pulled one out for me last time, says John Wise. And hot tub as well, says Sam Henry there. Now Powell goes back to Phillip, continuing to drive his way forward. Now quick recycle ball to Mua, not quite able to link up with Carter Gordon. Instead goes to Michael Wells. Hang on to it very nicely. It's a penalty to the Fijian Drua and hot tub streams. And I don't believe it is in this Twitch. Sounds like the Devil's work, as I says Gareth in my chats is going crazy. They are ready, get ready for an update. And Plants vs. Zombies says Brandon there, but currently, I believe it was Michael Wells who did end up not quite releasing that ball, and we should rate a hot tub stream if we ever find ourselves on Twitch, says Sebastian. See, Twitch would be an interesting one that would probably be more, I guess, more chilled out than, or I don't know whether it's possible to get too much more chilled out. But I think if we end up getting Wi-Fi out in the studio that we are setting up, it's going to be probably where we end up doing our Twitch stuff as well. But I'm excited. We've got a few props for in there, a couple lights and whatnot, trying to get it all set up and ready to go for the next few weeks. We actually got ourselves a new webcam as well. It's going to be used for some of those videos filmed out there. But currently now, it's once again going to be Akana Verdi, who's got himself the line-out throw right. The Fijian Drua, they need to do well. You have a studio. And there says Sam, or studio sounds too fancy. Studio is more a little room outside. So similar to a shed, but with wallpaper, I guess you could say. And Twitch and Chill in there, says Aaron Spencer. And also see the Rob Aussie. And there says Brandon, also tour of the studio, maybe, says Sam Henry. It's not like it's a room. It's a little room that it's, I guess another name for it's a lockup, I guess, or something like that, a sleep out. But it's not really too great for sleeping. And I want to think of the OnlyFans thing seems nice. Very lovely girls on a real marriage material, says Gareth there. I know that at the very start of OnlyFans, when it started becoming a thing, like, or a real big thing, I know that we were asked, me and George, to get naked and lather each other in butter, and decided against that one. And geez, Aaron, these live streams don't take long to get busy, as well, says David the Mod. Exactly right, mate. Only takes a matter of minutes. 24 minutes into this game now, going back once again in the midfield. It is going to be Lucas Ripley trying to rip his way through the Drua defense. Down to the short side here. Koba Seelov, big tackle on him. It was Voto who was able to absolutely smash him there. Man cave, Amish. I guess it could be a man cave there as well. I feel like my voice is very high today, or I keep on going high. when I get too excited on WTF as well, and really WTF. And then on OnlyFans is family friendly. And then chill with Mandy. And there says Gareth now going back across. Vorta's dropped the ball as he, yes. Did end up just putting it down. And what are you, why are we talking about OnlyFans? I think it's because we've got a predominantly male audience. And they love the stuff overall. But that was originally a big hit on Elov's midsection there. And Vorta almost dropped himself on his own head the way that he did go into that tackle. But then ball did end up coming free. Didn't quite regather it. And also Hamish Love, when it get him busy, as says Brandon there. George does love being busy as well, I think. And this went from talking about the Super Rugby to OnlyFans, says Henry, or Sam Henry. And there as well. It looks like Ikanaviri might have a little bit of a shoulder injury. Looks like he's going to be continuing, though. He is a tough individual. We'll be ready to go once again. Currently 25 minutes into this game. Kobus Elov also a little bit slow getting back to feet after that ribcage tickler that he did receive. He kind of got pile drived into the ground, I guess is the best way of describing it. And also, why are you talking about it, Sam? And there says Aaron Spencer, and also we've got there. How's Sammy? And there says it was from the David the Mod, and also Sammy's in bed, but good. And there says Brandon, but currently now we are just waiting for the line-out. Missed tackles 15 by the Rebels so far of their 56 tackle attempts, and then also alongside that, 26 tackles made by the Fijian Drua, 6 missed tackles, so a higher tackle completion, and also football. Could you do an OnlyFans channel for us? Careful now, Gareth. Henry is about 15. And also, do you have an obsession with OnlyFans there? I call you FBI on this. Says Aaron Spencer. And also knows that Sam Henry and George is a working beast. Most probably sitting on a massive bank account in there. There's David the Mod. Yeah, I know he is very keen on getting the studio up and running, so we can get plenty more videos coming up. But now driving his way forward, once again, it is going to be, that was Ravuvu, number 13. I'm 13, says Sam Henry there. Kicks it nice and high there. It's going up to the 40-meter line, taken beautifully there by Carter Gordon, trying to step his way through the defense of the Fijian Drua. This game has been a good seesaw battle throughout the early stages. Tamua now going back across to Wilkin. Vaiu drawing past now, kicking on the inside. Doesn't quite work out. And this is a really odd live stream, says Henry Samuel. It is a bit. And also that's jeez. I don't even know if I can read that out. And also we've got the I'm only 1 year old. And also we have got their Cupcake Man. And also good for George. He is Brandon. It is indeed. He is a very happy man at the moment, because he just gets to keep on driving the tractors. That's the thing. He drives tractors. He goes home. He plays Farming Simulator and drives the same machinery as he drove in real life on Farming Simulator. I feel like it doesn't get much better than that. Now, it'll be Hansen going to the back. James Hansen, that is, giving it to Matt Phillip. 10 meters out now for the Rebels, and they continue to try get themselves their rolling maul try. I believe that's actually Tamati Ioane breaking off the back. A dangerous individual. He kind of reminds me of Will Skelton the way he runs out. Reinu'u now. We wrestled down, the ball comes free. Popped up by Powell, out to Tamua, Carter Gordon, one more now. Out to the man out on the wing, gets forced almost into touch. I think he stayed in the field of play, though. That is incredible work. Now Wilkin picks the ball up, only 2 meters short, driven almost into a DDT by Charika Davida. Matt Tamua, attack and run. Reinu rush defense there. Good work from the Fijian Drua player. And also, okay, just missed it. Sorry, missed the FBI agent in there. As we only want cupcakes, not only fans of this basically saying you guys want me to do Corn Hub in there. It's Corn Hub, a website where people eat corn, says Hamish Spencer there. The thing is, there probably is a real website called that. I'm not going to search for it because I have no idea what will pop up. And once George gets a missus, he can kiss that big bank account goodbye. As well says David the Mod, although he also does enjoy buying food. And also, like, he bought an office chair. You guys will remember he bought an office chair about 3 months ago for the gaming channel. He broke it, unfortunately, so he had to go out and buy himself a new office chair. So that office chair had a very short lifespan, unfortunately, but the new one, he says, is quite comfy. So that is good news. It looks like now there's a little bit of an injury now for Lucas Ripley, and also, no, I'm not going to say what it means, and also how much chocolate milk do George have? I guess 5, and I can't talk. I have 3 up and goes. George, if you did say, George, how many chocolate milks can you consume without vomiting? I would say he can do about, I'd say probably around there. There must be someone in this world with a corn fetish, as I said, Sebastian. For some reason, Carolina comes to mind, like North Carolina or South Carolina. Probably anyone who's tuning in from there. Luckily, I don't think we've got any viewers from there, because if they were, they'd probably be quite annoyed. And also, George has streamed out, though. And there says David the Mod. Yeah, I think he goes through his patches of like working for like 2 weeks straight and then getting a little bit of time off type thing. So he is pretty much sitting on the tractor seat for about 12 to 14 hours a day. And I'm going to go check. Says Gareth, do let us know what you find, but don't go too into detail. The ball's still available now around the side. I believe that would have been Cameron Orr getting closer. Going back for the original penalty here. Also, the Donuts. There's random, but another penalty for collapsing the maul. They need to be careful with the Fijian draw, or they might end up with a man in the bin, perhaps. They are not careful with the discipline. But currently, we've got one more game on tonight. It is going to be the Western Force, and they will be taking on the Reds in what should be a very entertaining contest. Both sides are relatively close on the betting odds, so perhaps it could end up kind of splitting. And oh my gosh, what? And also show this Kiwi lads, and there for FBI open up, I assume it is. No, not FBI. That was an early one. That is the Donuts. And what just happened, says Henry Samuel there. Which one? The corn fetish, I assume it is. I'm not wrong, but currently now Hansen. We're putting this one up for the line out taken nicely by Phillip. They've actually won the most line outs out of any side. Good attack and run from Reinu. Going down just short of the line now. Who wants it? Looks like around the side. Hansen thinks he's close. Does he get it over the line? I don't believe so. I think it is short. They're going to be going upstairs, though, because they cannot see it in Child or Children of the Corn horror movie. And they're in corner offers free corn, and FBI open up. There's Brandon there as well. I was at this whole live stream has gone downhill. There's Henry Samuel there. It's an interesting one, isn't it? Although, if I do go back and check who started the whole conversation about it, I mean, just looking through, I'm just going to have a quick look. I think it was something to do with you, Henry. Possibly, if I'm not wrong. Hot Tub. Oh, we were talking about Hot Tub streamers, and then you went down the track of Corn Hub. I think it originally started. Did he get the ball down? I think he's going to be initially short, in my view. Or is he? Get out of the way, the Fijian player. If he was out of the way, we would be able to see. So strategically placing himself. And I'll direct a film for the corn fetishes, Corn Horn. And also, I know Henry's in there, and probably says Henry there. But this is going to be a very tough one. Original on-field decision was no try. I believe that will be how it is staying. Okay, no clear angles. Goal line dropout is going to be what it is. So the Fijian Drua, they do survive. Another onslaught from the Rebels. Currently 30 minutes into this game here. No, Brandon told me to do a channel for OnlyFans. And there says Sam there, and OMG, Corn Hub exists. And there's 2 videos of corn boiling, one of popcorn being made in there, and also football. You brought up the corn. Right. I feel like this one, we do need some sort of rugby. So who's going to score the next try, ladies and gentlemen? Do let me know. I'm telling you, lad, has some corn. And there it says it was Irish Fed. So who's going to score the next try? Is it Moana Pacifica or the Fijian Drua? That's going to be another drop ball. A little bit more stop-start, but the Fijian Drua, they will be giving away that scrum, and the Rebels. Whatever they're taking off. It's a long yawn, wasn't it? Currently, just the one try has been scored. He's looking a little bit lonely for that one, Tuna Mapaya. He almost had a join with him there, and that was Habosi, but sadly missing out. And also, can we lads, FBI open up your little poo? And there says Brandon down, Fijian Drua. Says Sam Henry for who is going to be able to get themselves the next try. The thing is, though, if the FBI knock on your door, like, you probably should open it. That's a little bit of advice. If someone knocks on your door who is a federal officer, don't hide because they're just going to come in anyway, and then you look guilty for hiding. Like, even if you're completely innocent, if you hide under your desk and they come in and you're under your desk, like, they're not going to think you haven't done anything wrong. And also, the Rebels will score next, says David the Mod, and also just brought a corner membership in there. Fijian Drua just says Kinisamiri. Hopefully, I pronounced that correctly. I do apologize if I have got that slightly wrong, but 10 meters out now for the Rebels, and they are once again going to have this rolling ball, unless it's a clown. And there is, and if the FBI knocks on my building suspense for that one. But currently now Hansen once again with this line out throw. Door, I will lock myself. Says Amy Spencer, lock yourself. Lock yourself. I don't know what lock yourself means. It's going to be now another advantage to the Rebels. They are continuing to be just about that 10 meters out. Haven't been able to break through other than the ones Kobus Elof wrestled down straight away. Now around the side, I'm looking for Big Tamati Ioane there. They're going back for the original penalty. And guys, I get into rugby now. Here's Sam Henry. That is going to be another penalty. And I believe time off. This could be the last warning here for the Fijian Drua. Right. Darren Alangi is going to be called over to the referee. Or 3 in a row, cynical infringement. And that is going to be now a man going to the bin. I believe it's going to be the number 5, whose name I can't really say, but it is Ratui Asolia. Has gone off there, and Isaac realized FBI, he's going to kiss you. So I don't know whether or not FBI agents are allowed to do that. Don't think that would be in the contract. And also just answer the door with your guns out. As I said, Sebastian, and also we have got the Are You Actually Neil Wagner? Says Gareth, and also eat corn, kids. Sam Henry, some good advice there, but currently now 5 meters out, taken nicely. Once again, the rolling maul of the Rebels. They need to make sure they don't give away another penalty or else they could be in big trouble, but Hansen getting extremely close now. Do they end up getting over? They do, and Hansen ends up scoring the try. You sure you weren't already a most valued member of the Corn Hub? I feel like every time I say Corn Hub, I just have a little bit more of a pause before saying it. That is going to be Hansen. Does end up scoring himself that try, and that is the second of the match. That is going to be in the 33rd minute. A little bit more of a, not really lethargic, but more of a feeling out process than we would have been expecting for these two sides. We were thinking there were going to be quite a few tries. Hansen able to score himself the one there, though. Does reward him with the try, but he is doing very nicely in the number 2 jersey. We'll be hoping to continue this momentum going forward. Maybe even has another one just around the corner. Butter and salted corn as the best says Aaron Spencer, but a good rolling maul, originally taken nicely by Cannon, and with the man advantage, they made the most of it. And I'm so glad George is not here. Says Sam Henry. I'm sure he'll like that. You know, he's a good man, George. Doesn't have a filter, which does get him in a bit of trouble sometimes. But it's going to be an interesting one to see how he does end up going on whether we do more rugby. I hope we do more rugby, and no one's actually here for the rugby. Come on, this isn't a rugby stream or anything. And it says Gareth there, and also they sold it differently, says Sebastian. But currently Matt Tamura going to be lining up this kick. 34 minutes of this game, 8 minutes left of the Fijian Drua yellow card, and the Rebels will be looking to make the most of it. Matt Tamura sitting there 1 from 1. Now, line this one up, and also don't need the butter lube, and then FBI going to happen or going to be happening to you sometime. Okay, hopefully not, but if it does happen, it happens. As I mean with the chat, says Sam Henry, and also we have got there loving this. Says Xavier, it's a very good score at the moment for the Rebels. 14-0 for themselves. They are sitting, but it was the yellow card to Roy Tui. Solia does go off the field, and I think he was pretty. I mean, that's the thing. It was unfortunate that it was him doing it, but then saying that was also their 3rd one in a row. So they did end up in a situation of the ref had no choice, and also the FBI wants to bash me, and me too. There's Brandon there, but currently now 22 meters out. Joe Powell just outside of the 22. Won't be able to kick it into touch on the 4. Has been told to use it. Feeding up the box kick. It's gone extremely high in the air now. Taken nicely, though. No, it's not. That's a shocking take from the number 14. Unfortunately, Ravu Taumara has put down that ball. That is a name that just never quite rolls off the tongue as much as I want it to. By the end of the season, hopefully it does. Ravu Taumara. Ravu Taumara. And saying George doesn't have a filter is an understatement, says David the Mod. Yeah, it's certainly why I work overtime on some of the videos, because I do have to censor quite a bit. And okay, back to work. We have a fun. As on there says Brandon, but currently 36 minutes in, only 4 minutes left of this first half between the Rebels and the Fijian Drua. 14-0. They can keep this game at 14-0 going into the second half, or maybe even score themselves a late try of their own. That's a brilliant push for the Rebels. Now going back across. Once again, nicely taken in the midfield. Vaihu decides to go for the pick and go there. Back across Joe Powell now off to Matt Phillip, continuing to drive his way forward. If we just skip to the Force versus Reds game as well. And there, it's a good run forward. And they continue to make meters each time. Was he off his feet? They've said the turnover's legal. I believe there was a knee down at one point there. And now kicked him behind. Could be a 50-22. No, it is going to be staying in the field of play. And taken nicely. Yeah, by the Rebels. A lot of pressure on Reinu. Now Joe Powell kicks it for touch. Does end up finding it. But the Fijian Drua now inside of the half of the Rebels where they do want to be. Once you poo going to Hamish, say hi. Once you poo going to Hamish. Once you poo going to Hamish, say hi. That has stumped me a little bit. I'll be honest. And also, we have got guys, welcome to the class where Hamish is trying to say rugby players. So I see Sam in your year. Some of those Fijian names just don't quite roll off the tongue the way I'd like them to. Although the best thing is, because we are doing the whole Super Rugby season, by the end, hopefully they will be completely fine. Like it was the case with Tarika Davita. I just took a little bit more practice. That's going to be knocked on there. It was Big Cameron or now running it straight sideways. It was Matawalu now breaking through. Rasia Sia looking very good there for himself. Or in fact, it was actually Ravuvu. Now Caleb Muntz kicks it in behind, going for the kick in behind for Vota. Sits up beautifully to the hand of the Fiji, and now going to the short side, Matawalu. Caleb Muntz covering a lot of ground, going for the corner now, and Fiji score. And surely this one cannot be reversed, but it is going to be, of course, it's going to be the one guy who I can't say in their team, Ravu Taumara. And he has been able to score the try. It's always the way, isn't it? When you can't say a name, it's always the first one to score, but the Fijian Drua, they have been able to get it. Fijian Drua try scorers, and this helps them big time for this game here. We will go like that, and we will type in Ravu Taumada. But Caleb Muntz, he needs a lot of credit for that try. He covered a huge amount of pretty much turf to be able to get out that side, be in the right place at the right time. But it's a great try for Ravu Taumada, who's been able to score. And also we have got there, can hi to say hi to your poo in there? I guess so. Something along those lines. Interesting choice of words there, but it is going to be the try for the right winger who now gets the Fijian Drua back into the match. Can you please yawn? I would prefer not to. I'll probably have a couple yawns on the later live stream between the Western Force and the Reds. So we are covering that one from 12 o'clock, or in fact 11:50 onwards. Caleb Muntz lines it up straight out in front. Easy kick, and now the score is 7 points to the Fijian Drua and 14 to the Rebels. It's about drive. It's about power. We stay hungry. We devour. Put in the work and take what's ours, says Sam Henry there. Apparently the Fijian Drua, they are working hard in this first half. 30 seconds left and a man down. It's what it took for the Fijian Drua to drive their way over the line, and it was their number 14 who scores it. So actually both sides' number 14s been able to score so far here. Now it's kicked in behind to the 22, and we're in the rugby, or where is the Rugby Championship playing? I believe we've got South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, and maybe Argentina. I think we're going all over the place this current point in time, but I know that Christchurch has been booked in for New Zealand versus Argentina, and I know that we're going to South Africa twice for the Kiwis. As what was for breakfast, says Gareth to Sebastian, and also we have got there Hamish. Who sung that? Don't know. Leona Lewis. Don't know. And also not sure, says Brandon there by that one, but that is going to be halftime now, and the score 14 points to the Rebels and 7 to Fijian Drua. We will have a quick look at some stats to do with that first half, some analytics, see what we are sitting at currently. But the match stats, the Rocks, the Rocks sung that. Did he? I didn't realize Dwayne had a bit of a song in him. And also, was that for Moana? And also they should play it in all in Argentina. They deserve it after all the travel they did last year. Yeah, it would be nice to see at least a few games take place in Argentina. And also the song is called Face Off. And then Dolly Parton says, Gareth Ferguson there, currently 1 try for the Fijian Drua, 2 tries for the Melbourne Rebels. Meters carried is actually only a meter difference. 115 for the Drua, 114 for the Melbourne Rebels there. The carry's extremely even as well. 44 for Drua, 42 for the Rebels. Defenders beat them, though. That is in favour of the Fijian Drua. 13 beaten for the Fijian Drua compared to 7 of the Rebels. But I believe they were talking to Akinaveri there. Apparently, it looks like the crowd on the Brisbane scene for the home game. I should say it's the first home game for the Fijian Drua. Hopefully the first of many home games that we will get to see for them. Offloads 3 for the Fijian Drua and 2 for the Melbourne Rebels. And then looking through at the tackle stats, 14 missed tackles by the Rebels. They actually have a lower tackle completion rate than the Fijian Drua. They had 73 tackles attempted, 14 missed. And then for the Fijian Drua, 66 tackles made, or tackles attempted, in fact, it was, and only 8 missed. And how to make a fundraiser in there, says Brandon. I assume we're talking like a GoFundMe, Brandon. What are you GoFunding for? Do let me know. And also, I'm eating Weet-Bix at 9 p.m. I'm a fat dog, says Hamish Spencer. I mean, but Weet-Bix in the morning is just so good. Like, could be worse. You could be having Cocoa Pops, Lucky Charms. Those are just sugar, aren't they? And they have marshmallows in them. They are doing it right over there if you do want holes in your teeth and a whole heap of fun at the dentist. And let's go Fijian Drua, says Sam Henry. And currently only the 7 points behind. And Atisha said, yo, bro, welcome into the live stream, mate. What are you thinking at this stage? Can the Fijian Drua do it? Or will it be slightly more in favor of the Rebels? Do let me know. And on YouTube, fundraiser on YouTube, not too sure. I know that if you're monetized, you can get donations. But I assume that that would be something along those lines. I added sugar. That's the way to do it. You can't have Weet-Bix without sugar. If you have Weet-Bix without sugar, just not the same. It's like having cornflakes without sugar. You need the sugar to really know that it's not that great for you. And also, man, when I was 13, corn and Slipknot were the thing, or the in thing. You're listening to The Rock as well, but explains a lot about current woke lights as well. And Brass, what do you think Fijian Drua, what do you think the Fijian Drua improving in every game, says Sharish? I believe so. I know that they had a tough game last week up against the Reds, but they did fight a little bit better in that game than their first game up against the Waratahs. And I think it will take time for the Fijian Drua. You give them about maybe, I'm going to say the first 6 or 7 weeks, and then they'll start really performing at the, I guess not the peak, but they'll be performing at a solid level for this season. And the only unfortunate thing is they will probably find that slight peak in Australia. Then they'll have to take on some of the Kiwi teams. That might be a little bit more of a challenge for them. But hopefully they do compete throughout the whole competition, and we do get to see them improve day to day. And also on time, I thought Super. One time I thought Super was cocaine. As in like Super Rugby? Oh, sugar. I assume that a sugar was cocaine. Well, you had me confused there, Henry, for a second. But 51% of possession going for the Rebels. So this has been a very 50-50 game. And also good Waratahs equals good Wallabies, agree. And there it says Xavier, and also hot sugary Weet-Bix on a winter's morning. Oh, that one. I haven't actually ever had hot water on my Weet-Bix. I know that that's a thing, isn't it? Like you have it on the Weet-Bix. I don't think I've ever been a hot breakfast kind of guy, other than if it's pancakes, I'll eat them. Quite a few of them. But like overall, I think like I've never been a porridge boy or what else do you have hot? Bacon and eggs I would eat, but like anything that's like a classic porridge, I'm not a porridge boy. Oats, did I already say porridge? I think I said porridge twice, didn't I? And also, to course, Sam, to course as well. And there it says Gareth. Currently 50 meters run by Vota, 9 carries, 5 defenders beating the best of the bunch, but all of the defenders and all the attacking moves from the Fijian Drua have been very impressive throughout the early stages. When can I verse, one versus you, or when can I verse you in FIFA? When I get better, which is probably, FIFA 26, I think, is my year for that one. And also, if you add water to your Weet-Bix, you're a psychopath. And then also, did you just say water? Yeah, people, like, is that not a thing? Like, I don't do it personally, but I see people pouring hot water on their Weet-Bix, adding the milk. And it's almost like a milk / it's almost a Weet-Bix coffee without the coffee. I guess you'd say I've never been a sweet breakfast type of guy. I don't want sweet stuff in the morning. I've just realized toast is hot. Although I've probably never really been a huge toast boy. I was like, what about Rugby Challenge 4? Maybe one day. Can try and get something going. Although I would like to see another update in that game, but I don't think they're going to be doing it, unfortunately, anytime soon. Tackles made so far. Tarika Davida making 13, the only man in double figures for the Fijian Drua. And that is actually the most by, that's actually the most by 6 tackles. And his side, and also Amelia has said hi as well. Welcome into the live stream. Hope you're doing fantastic. And also coffee is good. Says Sam, I wouldn't know. I've never had a coffee in my life. Brad Wilkins sitting there, 12 tackles made and 1 turnover 1. He is the leading man for the Rebels. I almost forgot their name for a second. Milk and Microwave. Oh, how does milk in the microwave go? Does it go all right? I've never thought to microwave my milk. Or the milk in the fridge, I should say, just to clarify. But Hansen and Tunumapaya are the two men who have scored for the Rebels. Matt Tamua, 2 from 2, and then also scoring a try for the Fijians. It was their man at number 14, whose name I don't really pronounce too well, Ravu Taumada. As well. And what about beer? And there's us, says Sam. I guess the best way of looking at it is, like, in terms of things that I haven't had tea or coffee or, like, a Red Bull. People always are very surprised, probably the most by the Red Bull one. I was like, I could eat oats for every meal. And then says Gareth, and I put my milk in the pantry. What? Are we talking like, do you drink soy milk or oat milk or something like that that doesn't need to be refrigerated? Or are you just strange? Or maybe you don't have a fridge. If you didn't have a fridge, it would make more sense. I would say, but currently the Rebels, they are still in the changing rooms getting ready for a second half. We have got one more day, or one more match, I should say, tonight, and that is going to be the matchup between the Western Force and the Reds. Then 3 games are taking place tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. We will be covering all 3 of them on the channel. First of which, Blues versus Chiefs. Second, Hurricanes versus Highlanders, and then Brumbies versus Waratahs. That will be closing out the night, and that will be a 9:45 p.m. kickoff for that game. So a slightly earlier one for the Blues and the Chiefs. That will be a very entertaining fixture to be able to see. So be sure to stick around for tomorrow. This is how the table was sitting before this game and also before this round did start. The Crusaders, they are now escalated into first place. They are sitting on 14 points after receiving that bonus point win. So the Brumbies in second, they will be hoping to continue to build. And at this stage will be the Rebels versus the Drua, the 2 bottom sides in the competition. Who will be able to ramp themselves up? We will have to wait and see. And also, I have a sip of beer, and I also tried vaping. And then there says Sam, and also I'm not really fond of coffee or hot drinks in general. I mostly drink energy drinks in the morning before school, and the only time I drink hot drinks is during winter to stay warm, says Amelia there. And I have porridge for breakfast at times, just not sweet. Is it weird to find sugar gross in the morning? Not really. I feel like sugar, like at nighttime, people normally enjoy sugar a little bit more. But like, yeah, it's weird kind of thing because like I do like a little bit of sweetness, but not like a huge amount. Like I don't think I could eat like Lucky Charms or anything like that because they're just next level. I guess you could say for celery, I almost call them, but cereal in the morning. And also, I wouldn't call it gross. I'm more like a treat, 9 savory to 1 sweet, says Gareth there. And also, the apprentice at work eats Tim Tams in the morning. What a lad, eh? Enjoy rugby stream. Are you going to do cricket Pakistan versus Australia? I am indeed going to be doing day 3, 4, and 5 of the cricket on Pakistan versus Australia. I can give you a little update on what the score is sitting at the moment. It's just unfortunate that Super Rugby and that cricket game pretty much perfectly overlap. So Pakistan is sitting 154 for 1 this stage in session 2. And then for India, they are sitting 228 for 5 up against Sri Lanka. I just banged my funny bone really bad. And also, we got iced coffee in the morning and hot coffee in the morning in there as well. Or in the summer morning, I should say. And I saw you online once. I tried to invite you to a party, but you didn't join it. It was probably more than likely that I was either recording a video or George would have been around. So we probably weren't going to be joining up for the party. And also, we have got their Lucky Charms, diabetes in the box. I don't know how many people or how people can eat that in the morning. I would heave out my guts. See, that's the thing. Even marshmallows and a hot chocolate in the morning is like not so much debatable, just I don't know whether or not I could handle it for like a sugary start to the day. But currently we have also got there my go-to brekkie is either Vegemite on toast or Wheat Bix with banana and honey. And I was joking with the vaping thing, says Sam Henry. Is that because your mum's just walked in, Sam or Henry? Possibly, so that she doesn't think that you've been doing anything naughty. As bro, it was like when I was 2 years old. Is on there. And also, I'm going to tell the police, says Gareth there. But currently, now we are getting close. What a lucky chance. Pretty much there. Tell you what, I'm going to help everyone out here. Lucky Charms. They're pretty much a sugary cereal that will knock your teeth out in one go. Oh, they're gluten-free, though. That's all right. As long as they're gluten-free. Or have I found the bad box? I might have found the bad box that's gluten-free. I mean, gluten-free is all right as long as, like, the food doesn't taste like cardboard when you have it. Pretty much Lucky Charms. Oh, this is going to be annoying. I don't think I can actually squeeze it all in because it's a wide shot. But pretty much Lucky Charms are just this, like, pretty much sugary cereal. There's a whole heap of marshmallows and all sorts in it. As unsweet as if cereal's there. And I have Up and Go coffee flavor for breakfast. This is very bright behind me, but it does look like definitely not rugby related. So I'm going to go back to the field. There we are. There we go. And also we have got, no, because Gareth said he was going to tell the police, and Magic Spoon is great cereal, sugar-free, but still cereal in there. Says Gareth there. So sugar-free cereal, I feel like, is an interesting one, isn't it? Because, like, that's the thing. To make a good cereal, you need a little bit of something in there, whether it's a fruit taste or something that kind of makes you not want to throw it in the bin. You know? Melted butter and toast. Into toast with Vegemite. And there's Hamish Spencer. But currently we are getting very close to the second half. Do let me know, ladies and gentlemen, who will score the first try of the second half. I don't get the whole point of Lucky Charms. It puts me off, I reckon. I don't even finish an entire bowl of it, says Amelia. See, that's the thing. Like, to be able to eat, even having that as a snack at some stage during the day, I don't know whether I could do. Can you buy Lucky Charms in New Zealand? If you can, maybe me and George have a task of trying to finish a box of Lucky Charms. And why don't you keep the rainbow in the background, Hamish? Says Sebastian there. It just looked a little bit too bright. I think, like, it looked nice with the sun in the background, and then it was just bright love arts and a magical leprechaun. As no Vegemite and Marmite. Here's the devil. Bovril all the way. And also Milo has an energy drink. Yes, and they do indeed. But currently they are showing the beautiful coast at the moment of Fiji. Sadly not able to have a game there in Fiji. But the good news is they are still able to have a game here for this matchup, and that is in Brisbane. And also we have got there Bullermate Fiji Drua will score the first try, says Abraham. Have you got a prediction of who it will be for the Fijian Drua? I will show you the starting lineup, although I will mention that one change that has been made is Baden Kerr is not starting at number 15. So that is the one that you got to watch out for if you are going to be predicting him. At the moment, Ravutal Mara was the first try scorer. Habosi had his try that was disallowed, unfortunately, for him. He was very close to being able to get himself one. And then Sharika Davida, he's been looking pretty sorry. Diralangi, I should say, hasn't really had too many opportunities. Whereas Roitoi Solia is actually in the bin for the first 10 minutes. These are the benches that the two sides have got as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. And also, we have got the as an Aussie. I don't get why they would put it in a can. Oh, I thought that was to do with Lucky Charms for a second. And I was thinking, geez, they've tried everything, haven't they? But yeah, that would be Milo Asham. And probably forwards play. I put my money on Diralangi. Now answer the captain, having a captain's performance for this one. But currently, I believe Matai Tiwa actually started this match at number 15. But Rarasio off the bench could be a decent shout. Possibly has a good opportunity in Wellington. There is an American store, Lower Hutt, as well, says Henry Samuel. Because I know that if I do end up getting Lucky Charms from America, I certainly do need to also get myself some biltong. Because you guys from South Africa, you've been telling me for a long time it's some good stuff. And I will take your word for it and try it on the channel at some stage. And what's in a can? It is the Milo. So pretty much a morning drink / they've turned it into an energy drink, giving it an extra little bit of a boost. As the only thing is like, or I like is Bang energy drinks for the American things. And Milo put their drink in a can. It's really weird, says Amelia. But now it is going to be kicked off by the Fijian Drua. They'll be going from right to left here for the start of the second half. Damon Murphy be about to get us underway. We have got 40 more minutes of action. And then we've got the game later on tonight, which is going to be taking place between the Western Force and the Reds. So be sure to stick around for that game. Also, Vaihu taking it nicely, running straight into his player, I believe. Oh, that was rough. Not to end up getting that penalty for accidental obstruction. But now Tamati Ioane is here, got forced back there by the big Ikanaveri. And also Biltong with Lucky Charms. Surely that would kill you no matter who you are. And Sebastian, yeah, that is true. Probably not mixing them because that would be rough. And also, Biltong is good, but nothing special in my opinion, says Mark Morris there. But Matt Tamua kicks that one for the touchline, doing nicely. The same here. I think it's just how it is always same, or always came in a coffee style tin, says Gareth. But now it is going to be nice and dry for Ikanaveri. We're going to move this one back over. I realized I moved the screen. So that is why we were way off to the side looking over, but we will go like that and we will go like that. There we go. We are back. It's going to be taken nicely by Tarika Davida. Easy way to recognize him as he is number 28, which is the only man above 23 who is out on the field by number, that is, not by age. Most energy drinks in a can or are in a can. Why is it weird? Says Amy Spencer. I guess that's a point, but I think it's because it's associated with Milo, like kind of being not so energy drinkish. Now, Vorta. Good tackle low on him by, I believe that would have been his opposite number there, Ripley. Come back across and still trying to drive their way forward here. It's a penalty to the Rebels. And I believe it was actually Mira who came in through the side. Does end up getting penalised and you have to be voted off the island. Or you have been voted off the island, says Gareth there. Currently side entry from Mira. And they need to make sure that they don't give away too many penalties in the second half. The only problem with Wellington is that it is too windy. And that is why most people in Wellington call it Windy Wellington, says Henry Samuel. See, that's the thing, though. I know that if you say to someone from Wellington, like, that it's windy, they don't like admitting it. Like, they're like, nah, it's not windy here. Like, it's not that windy. It's no different. But then people from Wellington, some people do say that it is windy. That's going to be overthrown once again. So I guess that's a good question mark with why they are overthrowing it. I guess they're just getting the call slightly wrong and maybe not jumping the right time. They've got the advantage over now. 40 metres out from their own line. It's kicked in behind. It looks like it's a good spiral punt. This could be going close to a 50-22. Going to be taken nicely there. Huge amount of pressure. Sits up for Carter Gordon. Almost charged down by Habosi. He does end up almost finding touch with it. It's actually going to be the replacement, number 22, already out on the field now for the Fijian Drua as they continue to drive their way forward. So I believe that will be the replacement for Caleb Muntz, Milo on ice cream. And then this is how any one person would drink Milo. You add half of the tin and a little bit of milk, says Amelia. They're now rolling it back once again. The big man, number 3, Tawake Matawalu, fires it back. Little grubber in behind, sits up nicely for Jono Wells. In fact, it's actually Michael Wells does get the carry there. Now Jake Gordon. That's not Jake Gordon. I'm having a shocker with the names. That is actually Joe Powell. Just saying random rugby players at the moment. Jumping on the ball. A little bit of a miscommunication there between two of the Fijian Drua players, but they have now got this ball back available. I'm going to make sure that I know who it is. I believe it is Tete Atila who is there. And also, why don't you have your setup in your bedroom? A simple and quick answer to that is my parents' room is right next to it. And they would prefer I'm talking out here rather than right next to their room just because I'm a loud boy. And also, with the way the Drua is playing, do you think they might have a chance against New Zealand teams? Says Abraham. I think the benefit that they have got is they have got more time before they face the New Zealand sides. They have got another maybe 7 weeks, somewhere around there. So it is good that they will get a little bit more of a swing of things. I think with them playing the Australian sides first, they will be closer in the games up against the New Zealand sides than if they had started with New Zealand. That's a brilliant run down the wing now. And it's going to be Mira. And it looks like he is going to be going all the way. What a run from the flying Fijian down the wing. And it's another try. And also go Fijian Drua. Says Sakiusa. Brilliantly done. And it's almost a full field try for Mira. He got the ball only a few meters out from his line, made the most of it, continued to just run and run and run. And that is going to be an absolutely outstanding try for 44 minutes in the Drua back in this game, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to go there. We are going to go like that. And it was very nicely done by Mira. That man's got some gas when he gets going. For the speed that he can run. I'm a loud boy. You need to add that to your dating profile. As says Sebastian there. And also, he's just gone up and now you want to watch Hamish in his bedroom. And now let's go draw a wheat fix and Milo. Says here then, let's go. Says Abraham, my God, the Rebels are amateurish. Says Mark Morrison. Definitely not what they would have been after here, the Rebels. In a situation that was probably a must win, to be honest, and try for the draw, says Sebastian. But if they have runs like that, they can certainly compete with any team around the world. And Kiwi Lads merch, I'm a loud boy hoodie. And there says Gareth, who knows, maybe one day could end up getting the merchandise going. But yeah, I feel like we've got heaps of slogans that I can't remember from the past. Lawn mowing service is one that stuck by throughout the whole time. Fijian Drua now missing that kick, so the score will remain 14 points to 12 now in this game. But a brilliant try for Mira. It was in the end the overthrown line out. Like we were mentioning, just getting it wrong. Mira pounces on that ball, runs about 80 meters down the field and does end up scoring the try in the corner. Carter Gordon couldn't do a thing about that one. And Mira celebrates with his Fijian Drua side, and only 2 points difference between these two sides now. It's currently sitting 45 minutes through this game. Kicked off short, taken nicely there by Chirika Davida. Tries to bump off the tackle, but nicely tackled there by it was once again, I believe, Josh Canham. He's been very busy. And okay, guys, it's normal to have set up in your goddamn room in there, says Sam Henry Football. But yeah, we will maybe one day, depending on what happens for it. And great, sounds like a good Sunday Massatire. And there says Sebastian there. It's going to be not quite taken nicely. And where the F is Andrew Callaway. Still away. Same with Rob Leota missing. And then Reece Hodgie is suspended for 1 week. So that is why he is missing from this contest. Taken nicely by Matt Tamua. They're going back for the original penalty to the Fijian draw on the halfway line. Grabbed him on the way down as the call. At the moment, it looks like there might be a little bit of an injury for the try scorer there. And Ravu Taumada, that's the name. I'm going to get it eventually. And also, have you watched Midnight Gospel? And there's Sebastian, says Gareth to Sebastian. For the touchline once again. It will be Teller. About 38, 36, 35. 35 we'll go with. 35 meters out here. Currently now it is going to be the line-out throw for the Fijian Drua. Do look like they're slowly getting maybe a little bit more fatigued. And this game going to the back. Overthrow again. That is about the 6th time we've seen that in just this game. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's conditions or there is just a little bit of miscommunication. But Joe Powell now going back to Matt Tamua. Michael Wells on the short side driving forward nicely. Fijian Drua, they are back to their 15 on 15. You have Fortnite as well, says Sam. I believe I do. I haven't played it in about 3 years or something along those lines. And also go Drua. Come on, boys. Says Cedar there going for us, boys. And can they get the job done? That's a big question. That's a massive kick up in the air. And it's not finding touch now. Taken nicely by Matt Tamua once again. Now trying to step his way through here. Believe it was Waihu. He's been explosive off his feet. Well, this one, can we play together, says Sam. I don't play it anymore, unfortunately. If I did play it, though, I would be keen to play it. And how are you doing? I just want to know, are the games, or are you going to do any of the Curry Cup games? Says Andre there. Unfortunately, the one that is taking place at 6 a.m. I probably won't do tonight, unfortunately, which is going to be the Sharks taking on the Pumas. I'll just have a look at the other games because we have got a slightly earlier morning start. But we are bringing back the Curry Cup very soon. It's just with the cricket on as well, it has made it very hectic for this time. And I have it on Netflix watch list. I haven't got around to it yet. So we will have a quick look at the Curry Cup. Where are we sitting? Because I know that, the Pumas play the Sharks at about 6 a.m. Crickets versus Blue Bulls tomorrow night at 1:30 a.m. could actually be on the cards, perhaps, if that is something you guys are keen to see. We will be able to do that game for you. So that will be, you know what, I'm going to lock it in now. Griquas versus Blue Bulls tomorrow night. We will do that one, Andre. Be sure to tune in for that one. And Fortnite is kindly requested to piss off as well. And there, and Sebastian, but currently Caleb Muntz off the field. He came off at halftime, so I hope it's not an injury, but Teller has been replaced on here and currently a scrum feed for the Rebels. Carries 65 and 3 line breaks apiece for these two sides. Carry meters a little bit more. Fortnite is overrated. And there says Amelia there. Currently now 14 for the Rebels, 12 for the Fijian Drua, and there's still 30 minutes left in this game. Still plenty of time for either side to make their mark on the final 30. And thanks so much, says Andre. No worries at all, mate. Because who's your team that you go for again? I hope it's one of those two, but I could be wrong. But if it is, that would be very ideal in that situation. But now short ball there from the Rebels. It's a knock-on picked up by Mira. Now it's going to be Matawalu finding the offload, and something that the Fijians do so well is that offload game taken nicely now by their fullback backing himself around the outside. Little chip and chase here. Carter Gordon trying to stop him. Jake Gordon, or in fact, it's not Jake. It's going to be Joe Powell. Does have to run back and predict the final score, says Abraham. I would say, okay, the Rebels are going to score again. Fijian Drua are going to score again. I think at this current stage, I'm just going to add 7 points to both sides, but there's a good chance that Fijian Drua, if it is 1 try per piece, there's going to be a penalty kicked over by someone escape from Tarkov is where it's at. They've been running a real beta at the moment in Ukraine, says Garavan also over or after the test series between Australia and Pakistan are going to be doing the ODI and T20. We'll probably do the T20 more likely than the ODI just because ODIs are very long for ourselves. But if I do have the voice capabilities and my voice doesn't disappear, I will be very keen to do it. That player got smashed there for the Fijian Drua. I think they are going to play on just for now. Oh, that's an ugly one for Joe Bell. Got his knee taken out from underneath him. He has got up, though, which is good news. And also, it's not overrated. It's ass gravy of the lowest order, in my opinion. Utter in there, says Sebastian. Oh, okay. He changed his line a little bit. I'm a Sharks supporter, says Andre. So how do you think they'll go up against the Pumas tonight? Do let me know. Or this morning. This morning, my time. Tonight, your time in South Africa, because you guys must be currently sitting almost morning. Somewhere around the morning. The moment, Ekanaveri having a bit of communication with the front rower, Ulia Kepa, deciding exactly where they want to go for this line-out throw. It's important that they do get it right, though. We've seen so many overthrown. That one was on purpose with the overthrow. Oh, okay, that's unfortunate there. And Matt Tamua gets the timing wrong. But the thing is, he went out underneath him, and I think he is just saying that as well. Where can I watch? Can I watch? Or where are you watching? Can I watch? Says Marty next. What country are you in? Marty, do let me know. If you're in New Zealand, it's on Sky Go or Sky Sport Now. Although I assume maybe you're not in New Zealand. So do let me know. Fiji as well. And this is Leo L. So for Fiji, whereabouts can you watch it in Fiji? I think it's on, is it Sky Sport Pacific or something along those lines? I think it is called. I think that is the only option in Fiji. But Super Rugby, the YouTube channel, will have the highlights of this game straight after. Now it is going to be a kick for the post by the looks of it for Fiji. And also, we have got the South African teams played brilliantly last weekend in the USC, all four of them. They did work hard. Definitely the Lions in the game in Australia. So Australia, you will be Stan Sports. Will be your best bet. But what I will quickly do for you guys, one moment. Super Rugby. I'll get the Super Rugby squad, or not the squad, sorry, but the Super Rugby YouTube channel that you can watch the highlights from. We'll go like that. If they had the highlights already, okay, the All Blacks YouTube channel actually probably the better bet. So we will go like this, and we'll go like that. That's the All Blacks YouTube channel. They've already got the highlights of the first game that we have seen. Currently, Fijian Drua, they take the lead now, 15 points to 14 over the Rebels, keeping this game extremely tight going into the later stages of it by the looks of it. And also, I have my bets on Rebels minus 11.5, and I want to watch it. Get up as well, says Marty there. So I believe, oh no, bet 365 is probably your other option, but I don't know whether or not they do actually have these games on there or whether it's just Stan. They're playing at 7 tonight. I hope Sharks win, but Puma's very tough at home. And there says Andre, and I'm definitely going to be watching that game on the replay probably tomorrow morning when I end up getting up before. That's if I get up tomorrow morning before the Super Rugby games. There we have got Andrew in front. It's getting interesting. And there says Sebastian Ashores. Carter Gordon now got this ball. Man, dropping down. It was Habossi, but he has still been able to make another tackle there. A little chip and chase there for the Rebels. The ball's been knocked on there. Or has it? It came off the boot. So still available for the Rebels up to the halfway line now. And OMG, they are winning. Says Paddy Wagon. They sure are. That's another penalty to the Fijian Drua. Taking the quick tap there. Matawalu going to be playing that fast-paced Fijian style, and it's worked. Vota goes through, scores the try, and the Fijian Drua. Do they get themselves that try? Are they going back to check it? I don't think so, and that is going to be the try for Vota now. Fair play. Very nicely done for the Fijian Drua, and now they take the lead, ladies and gentlemen, as week 3, the week that we see them get their first try. But Carter Gordon ended up offloading it. Little chip and chase there. Then the penalty did fall on the side of the Fijian Drua. And then from there, ball picked up. Penalty given against Michael Wells for hanging on to that ball. And Matawalu, he was not messing around. Straight into it. Quick tap. Vota saw it very quickly, which is a huge factor. Found the draw and pass. That was near perfection for the Fijian Drua. And they score themselves another few points on the board here. Very nicely done. Try. Nice try. And Rebels are coming last. Says Betty Wagon and Jesus Christ. The Rebels are useless. And Fiji team need cover for energy. Trying to run faster. I don't think they needed too much of it there. They kept on going. And now they lead this game by 6 points here for themselves. Doing very nicely indeed. Are you going to do the Women's World Cup, Amish, for the cricket or the rugby, Kevin? Which one are we talking? If we're talking cricket, I'm going to be doing hopefully the playoff games for the Kiwis if they are playing in them. But then for the Rugby World Cup, for the women's side of it, we will be doing hopefully as many games as physically possible. Bokarina, Seko, Drua, and they are going very nicely. Another conversion there, making the score 22 points to 14. And don't they always come last? If they're not last, they're close to it, unfortunately, for the Rebels. So the Rebels assume the role of the actually, yeah, that's a good point. The Waratahs are normally last. New losers in 2022, the Rebels. They are well got to clean out the Cats litter box and see the Drua are in front. And there it says Nov Mum and also Bang Bang says Abraham, and can't wait for the Blues versus Chiefs game. And Blues are my team, says Andre, and that is going to be tomorrow. It's an early morning start for yourself there, Andre. I believe it will be a start at 4:35 a.m. for yourself or somewhere around that mark, maybe 5:35, but we will be doing the live stream. So be sure to pop in if you do want to have the live commentary and a bit of a chat that is going down. Once again for the Fijian Drua, I believe it's going to be the knock-on, and now the Rebels going for their counter-attack. Still 24 minutes left in this game. Ball has been dropped, and the Fijian Drua have got themselves the advantage. Matawalu puts the ball up high. That's going to be advantage over now. All right, I'll line it up. Not taken cleanly by Carter Gordon. He has had a shocking start, unfortunately, for his Super Rugby. They've actually said knock on from the draw. I thought that it may have been possibly the other way around. I thought the Rebels might have got that one first. And Sup Hamish in there says, Ollie, welcome in. And Drua, believe. Says 0 and 8 points in front. Come on, this is going to be good. And there says the passionate sure is. And the Drua have come to fight in this game, a home game for themselves in Brisbane. They might be walking away as the victors, and they might. It's the thing, they've got one more try. If they get 2 more tries quickly, they will actually get themselves a bonus point, which could be huge in the later stages for making it through to the quarterfinals or missing out here for the Drua. But it is certainly a great comeback from the last 2 games. Like we mentioned before this match, 40 points plus in both of those first 2 games for the Drua. And now they've been able to restrict the Rebels to only 14 and also have got themselves a nice little lead. The most tries they've scored so far, it's a penalty there to the Rebels for the front row going down. Or a little bit of push and shove. Little bit of push and shove there between a few players. And it is getting heated at the moment. I believe that's either solo or maybe they haven't made the sub yet, in which case it would be Tawaki. It's not too having Kiwilats. Who do you think is going to win, Force versus Reds? That's a tough question. So those 2 sides could be very even. I'm going to be honest. I feel like there's a slight chance that the Force win that game. Only a slight one. They are slight underdogs. But it's at HBF Park, and I feel like that really favours them. So it was a push from behind in the end by Cameron Orr, which then meant all the Fijian players had to come in and protect the waka there, mate. Any idea why Vunivalu isn't playing? That's a great question. Vunivalu, whereabouts is he at the moment? Is he still... He's actually... Yeah, he is with them, isn't he? I think either rotation, maybe they decided they need him for the bigger games, perhaps. Am I thinking of the right guy? Am I thinking of Vunivalu or am I thinking of someone else? He is their other halfback, isn't he? Do correct me if I'm wrong there, because I might be. Vunivalu. He is the other halfback, isn't he? But now Carter Gordon kicking him behind. It'll be a good chase here. Ball bouncing up. It's taken, and that's going to be the try for the Rebels. And he's been able to score his second of the match. The Rebels are so disappointing these last few games, although that is going to be the try. Okay, so the weird thing is, if I had predicted what I was going to predict, this is pretty much it, because I said a try apiece and then the Fijian Drua get a penalty. But now we've got another try, and this game is going to be heating up just a little bit more. Maybe there is time to put 40 points on the board for the Rebels in the last 20, perhaps. Now, at this stage, we are going to go like this, and we are going to go like this as well. And also, we've got the red, says Abraham, and okay, despite my anti-Victorian sentiment, that was a beauty. Or sentiment, sorry, that was a beauty. And also another guy that switched from league. Oh, Vunivalu out on the wing, isn't he? For the Reds, sorry. Took a little while for my brain to actually click. I don't think... Yeah, they haven't been using him too much. I know he had an injury at one point, which might have been holding him out. But hopefully he does get to return soon. They've got Jordan Pataia out on one wing. And then also they got the option of Felipe Dalgunu if they do want to go with him. Well, the Reds. That took way too long for me to work out who it was. And also go, Drew, I'll close this game out. Says Sarah there, although the game now 19 points to 22. It's getting closer. And also, Hamish and Kiwi Lads, whole journey. Can you recall which live stream has got the highest YouTube live watching? And what was the number? Can you share it? And what was the topic, rugby or cricket? It was rugby that we did end up having 4,000 concurrent viewers on a South Africa versus All Blacks match. It was absolutely insane. Like that, it did peak at that high. And it was certainly a crazy one to see the chat going as quickly as it did. And also, Vunivalu played for the Melbourne Storm This is Abraham and also who's going to play in Lucanio arm position for the URC. Arm is going to Japan for 2 months. Here's Andre. Ooh. Who do we have there? I'm trying to think of the squad for the Sharks compared to the squad of the Natal Sharks. I mean, I know they're already they play Forster already, don't they? At number 12. Who else have you got? Volmink? No, Volmink's more fullback. I gotta try and think of all the names again, don't I, for the South Africans? I feel like I've been looking at Fijian names for such a long time. Who else have we got other than Forster in the midfield? Marius Lowe. Is Marius Lowe still there? I feel like he probably is 12 and then Forster at 13 you could go with, or maybe someone a little bit more elusive with the pace on the outside. Who else have they got? Do let me know, Andre. I'm trying to think of the names. They're just not quite coming to mind. And also, All Blacks versus Springboks 4K viewers, but Hamish keeps mentioning a Lions game that I can't recall. And there's Sebastian there. Oh, that was dropped there. A Lions game that I can't recall. Is that one to do with maybe England, possibly? And also, I was going to play. Oh, no, I read that one on WhatsApp. In there from Music Kiwi, welcome in. And, bro, we're Reds versus Force. Another cracking encounter waiting for the next one, says Michelle. And that is just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen. So if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated, you guys all being here. We will be covering Western Force Vernacock. Yes. As soon as you said that name, my brain went, yep. Because he's been playing a little bit out on the wing at times, hasn't he? So I guess, yeah, centre, he's locked that one down. Like, without even looking at the other names, Vernacock, when you look at experience and you look at skill, it's got to be him. And then Marius Lowe at 12, I assume it would be. Or Forster. I think I was thinking of 2 inside centres, wasn't I? But currently now, 18 minutes left in this game. It's a big push from the Fijian Drua. They win themselves the penalty. Matawalu thought about taking it quickly, decides against it in the end, though. Probably a good option. Not take that one too quickly. Just take your time. Kick it for the corner. Actually, do you kick it for the corner? You probably go for the 3. They're taking the shot, yeah. Because, I mean, the line-out has not been going well. I got my VR. And this is Music Kiwi. That was a big push in the 4-pack. I believe that would have been Salvoli. Got right over the top of Kobus Elof, who couldn't do anything but smile at that massive one. I know you used to mention British and Irish Lion Stream. That would have got tens of thousands of viewers or something like that. Or am I just dribbling all over? Says Sebastian. That would have got tens of thousands of viewers. What one was that we had? Tens of thousands of viewers. Oh, was it South Africa versus Georgia, maybe? That would have done quite well, but then they didn't show it here in New Zealand, so we couldn't really do it. Oculus Quest 2 is really fun. I think I'm addicted, says Music Kiwi. I'm trying to think of which one that is, Sebastian. Oh, no. Was it? No. I all of a sudden thought I had it, but then I didn't. It's gone over from the Fijians, and now they lead this match 25 points to 19 now. All the kids running up and down the sideline, and that was the second Lions game, wasn't it? And there says Gareth. That was the second Lions game, wasn't it? Did we not do the second Lions game? Or are you thinking of the Guru? Someone had internet issues, I think, that meant that they weren't able to do one of the big matches or something. And who was doing the kicking for the Drua, says Abraham. So for this one, at this stage, I believe it started off with Muntz, but now it has become Teller as a kicker. And also, Amish Bro, after this round, which teams where spot came up on the points table, we will be letting you know as soon as this game finishes where everyone is sitting. Nice little chip and chase there for the Fijian. Has gone back for the initial penalty. 3 white, no arm. Kobus Elof just getting a little bit frustrated. I'm getting old then. Any good players or any good old people's home for Seb that you can think of as well. I've got one just up the road, Seb. Like, the thing is, if you did end up going to the old people's home just up the road, I would visit you, you know, come and tell you about the rugby, like, and just everything that's going on. Maybe do a podcast. Well, maybe not do a podcast with you because that might not be ideal if you do end up in the home. Everyone will be very confused at us, but we'll be looked at strangely together. And that one, and also my football season starts in a few weeks. I will get the highest goal scorer this year for you. As I says, Music Kiwi, so good luck. Yeah, mate, what position are you? Are you a striker or are you somewhere in the midfield? Do let me know. But currently now sitting 25 points to 19. Difference in these two teams, or in these two teams, I should say, is 6. We currently sit the Fijian Drua. If they can get one more try, that'd be absolutely huge for them. In this game, I would play chess all day with my fellow 70-year-olds. Another overthrow. Has everyone taken a step forward or something in the line out? It just doesn't seem to be going too well now. Charged down, beautifully done by Fiji, looking for the offload, chucks it through the legs, and it is regathered by the Rebels, but looks like a counter ruck from the Fijian Drua. Now down the short side, beautiful offload. And it is Tatella who's sitting 20 meters out. Could this be the try that the Fijian Drua need? Get over the line. I believe that was Manasa Solo now, making his way for the other replacement prop now, continuing to drive his way forward. Matawalo, in fact, it was Teller now passing the ball back nicely midfield for Music Kiwi. That's another penalty advantage here for the Fijian Drua. They can throw everything at this. It's going to be the cross kick from Ravuvu, hanging in the wind, taken nicely though. And they will be going back for that penalty. Another easy 3 points, you would think, for the Fijian Drua. And also, do you also do Premier League soccer, says Abraham? I have been looking at it recently, and I do want to get into it a little bit more because I have been watching a few of those games. And I guess the best way to look at it is, like, if I'm watching a game in the middle of the night, I might as well be watching along with you guys. I feel like that is one of those ones that, like, it always is just that much more awesome having you guys there. So what I will do is I will find the Kiwi Lad Sport, because that is probably more than likely the channel that we will do the Premier League on in the near future. I will just grab that one. That is the link. So be sure to check that one out if you do want to check out some of the other sports that we will be doing alongside it. So that could be football, that could be rugby league, could be AFL, could be squash, probably not squash. Don't have anything against squash. It's just probably quite hard to commentate when you can't see the game. But yeah, they are all the plans that we have got going forward. And also Soccer Boo Hiss is also a reason why it would be on the Kiwi Lad Sport channel rather than the main one, because it seems to be that rivalry between soccer and rugby. And Fiji are playing a very good attacking game, says Andre. They are indeed. Every time it goes to ground, you know that you're going to see an offload from a Fijian player, and that is what we have had so far. But now will be Titi Tela. We'll be going up at Man United versus Man City on the 6th, if you're keen. So that is just around the corner, isn't it, Abraham? What time is that? That's a morning game, isn't it? If I'm not wrong, one moment. We'll have a quick look at the Premier League. But yeah, I feel like that would be the perfect game to come into the Premier League for. And I'll take care if it's football. And there's Music Kiwi, although depends on where you're from. I think Music Kiwi, if you're from New Zealand, we normally call it soccer as well. Currently now that Helen has gone over, and that is going to make the score 28 points to the Fijian Drua compared to the 19 of the Rebels. And now with an 8-point lead, it's looking very good for the Fijian Drua. They were underdogs going into this game. They're certainly not going to be underdogs going out of this game, I should say. Currently, I am just looking through. Where is it? It's hiding from me. Premier League. Where is it? There it is. Right, we'll have a look at what is on the cards for that one. But currently, anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated, you guys all being here for these middle of the night games for some places all around the world. We're getting close to our era in New Zealand. Once again, Darren Alangi, no, the referee. No, that wasn't the referee. I thought the referee was almost involved. And by the way, I love your channel. So awesome. Thanks, says Andre. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And we have got plenty more coming into the future as well. So, yeah, Man City versus Man United at 5:30 a.m. That actually doesn't work too badly with the schedule that we have got in the near future. But now driving their way forward once again, going back to the short side. Matt Tamua, nice bit of draw bars. Go Fiji, go from Josatiki. Another chat who is currently willing on his Fijian side. You play Roblox as well, says Music Kiwi. I do not at that stage. And also, no, it's just football. Who calls it soccer these days? A lot of people. And also, look at their last game as midnight in New Zealand. People watching this in the stadium on midnight know. So that game will be in Perth, which is only going to be a 7 p.m. start time for them. Sorry, I forgot to use the literal name of my foot kick ball. Oh, football genius, says Gareth there. But at the moment, it is going to be, unfortunately, by the looks of it, Ravutal Mudau. Ravutal Mada. I'm trying to look at it as late as possible and see if I can get that name rolling off the tongue without looking at it. He scored a try earlier on in the game. Currently, I think his ankle might have just got stuck under the breakdown, something along those lines. South Africans also call it soccer. And there says Andre. Yeah, currently there's quite a few good games of soccer coming up, or football. Watford versus Arsenal could also be a game to have a look at, maybe. Just kind of learning more of the Premier League. It's when we've got more time that it does mean that we can open up our horizons and do a few other sports along the way. I mean, with the game starting at 5:30, I'd love to say that George would like to come round, but I think that would be too early for him. But throw in now for the replacement here for Ma'afu. So nicely, that looks like a serious groinal injury for one of the Fijian players, and I think it's the number 7, maybe even the knee at this stage, and that is the last thing that they want because he's had a brilliant game so far. It doesn't look like he's got back to his feet yet, though. Hopefully he is going to be all right. And Arsenal and there says, oh, yeah, you're an Arsenal boy, aren't you, Sebastian? So that will work quite well. You'll be able to tell me who's good. I don't know many of the Arsenal players. Oh, I mean, if I look at them, I'll probably be like, oh, yeah, I know like a majority of them, but some of them I probably wouldn't know from not watching it for the last few years. Good draw and pass here for Fiji. Habosi now, be back in his space, tries to step on the inside, lands on his face, drags his shoulder along the ground and goes into touch. And also, yeah, the only people who say soccer are people who don't play football. And now Liverpool all the way, brother. And now my favorite team, Liverpool. Who did Liverpool play? West Ham. Might be worth a crack, maybe in the morning, 6:30 a.m. I mean, I'll be up around that time, so it could be worth a go if you guys are keen. So, yeah, quickly, before we get too far into that, I will go like that as well. So that is the Kiwi Lad Sport. That will be the channel that we do end up doing it on. I got to go. See you later, Hamish. Keep up the great work, says Andre, and we will see you later on, mate. But thank you very much for tuning in while you did, and hope you did enjoy the commentary. We have got plenty more coming, including Western Force versus the Reds, and also Abraham has said how many minutes into the game, but it's currently we are sitting 60, or in fact, we're sitting 70 now. Taking over and go draw. West Ham wonder if they feed them ham, says Music Kiwi. Right. Interesting choice. But currently now the time is off. Or is it? No, the time is on. Someone forgot to turn it off. Now they have turned it off. And Sebastian Bro, me, my big brother, also fans of Arsenal, the Gunners. And there says Vishal there. It's kind of cool that the teams that I've mentioned already are teams that you guys normally follow. Like, I feel like that's pretty awesome that we could possibly do something along those lines. That is going to be now the penalty going down. And also, hope Drua wins, says Congo. And at the moment, they're sitting very nicely for themselves. And also, wonder if they feed Arsenal. I see. Does that mean Liverpool, they feed them liver? If that's your system? Maybe. I don't know. Does that mean Manchester and Man United are fed man? Don't know. And go Fiji, draw, oh, go, draw, go. Says Sarah, taken nicely. One of the first lineouts seen as a successful lineout so far. Now Matt Tamua going back across. Good backline movement here. Vaiu on the outside, getting a bit of space. But Fiji's covered defense has been very impressive throughout this game, although he's just beaten about 7 defenders there, stepping on the inside. Very good run from Vaiu. Replacement number 21 now passing it back. Matt Tamua not quite linking up, and the ball is loose. Taken nicely now by, I believe that would have been the number 13 there, Lucas Ripley. And one more score for the Drua to seal the deal. And also now to smell like Live because the old Bath are in the same pool, or they all bathe in the same pool. There's Gareth there now going back across. Matt Tamua going for the kick and behind. I don't necessarily agree with that tactic because now Fijian Drua have got a bit of space to be able to kick it in behind, and you got no one back there. I'd say brilliant kicking now from inside of their own 22. Vaihu does have to look for the touchline and also drop goal Drua. And then imagine the scenes, although they are currently, that's the thing, they've still got 8.5 minutes. I think they will be able to possibly get themselves into that situation of maybe scoring again. And also, of course, it's the Rebel that lose to the Drua. And also, just as a side note, Hamish, Gunners are the Arsenal players and the Gooners are the Arsenal fans in there. Says Sebastian, see, I feel like I've got a lot to learn. So I guess big question, if I was to do Premier League and I did a 4 a.m. game also, you've got Burnley versus Chelsea, Newcastle versus Brighton, Norwich versus Brentford, and Wolverhampton versus Crystal Palace. Which game would you say is the best one out of those? Would it be, oh, and also Aston Villa versus Southampton. Would you say it's Chelsea Burnley, I guess? Don't know. I don't really know too many of the kind of stipulations. In fact, I could look at the table. That will tell me what I need to know. It's currently Chelsea sitting in third, so they'll probably be the team that you do end up following for that one. Currently now throwing it in. Does end up going with the little knock on from the Fijian Drua just out from their own touchline, or sorry, from their own 22. And the older Arsenal fans called Booners in there. And also, when was the last time Arsenal won the English League, says Music Kiwi? That's a very good question. I have no idea, to be honest. Currently now is going to be at the scrum feed of the Rebels. They're still in this contest. The Fijian Drua, though, they score themselves, I think it's 1 or 2 more tries. They actually get the bonus point here. I think it's 2, though. And Chelsea game, says Abraham, and all the games Liverpool play, and says Johannes. And yeah, that is the later game up against West Ham. I have to start making myself some thumbnails, perhaps, if I am going to do a Premier League. I'm excited, though, because I do enjoy watching it, and the FIFA World Cup is coming up, so I feel like that's the perfect time to really start learning a few of these players and kind of work out the stars of each of the European sides. And also 2003, 2004, the Invincible squad didn't lose a single game that season. And now there's Sebastian, currently now feeding it in. Once again, nicely done. Front row's going down. Penalty, though, to the Rebels. Still another 7.5, or in fact 6.5 minutes left. I think there's still going to be a little bit of time left. And also, my boys, the Wellington Phoenix, would wreck Arsenal and all the teams. I don't think so. Just because it would be a tough one for them. All the kids trying to catch the ball. I think someone did manage to take that one nicely in the crowd. It's a real family environment at the moment at HBF Park. Well, this isn't HBF Park. This is actually in Brisbane for this match on the Sunshine Coast Stadium, I think it is called. Something along those lines. But it's a very good atmosphere. Bring the kids along. Watch a little bit of the Fijian Drua play some rugby. Unbeaten sides. Entire season of 2003, 2004 there at Liverpool and Man United next week. It's a big game, as for sure. But now passing the ball back across, it is going to be the number 7, the man who I thought went down with a knee injury a little bit earlier on. He was able to continue. I think it was Mero and one drop goal, boys go Drua. And Music Kiwi is dribbling all over the place. Where was that old people's home again? Says Sebastian for that one. But that is going to now be the ball of the Rebels once again, just out from their own goal area. Oh, it's dropped cold. It's dropped twice. And it's going to be now, I think Matt Phillip just telling the number 13 there, Lucas Ripley. Don't panic about that one. Got to love Liverpool fans. Win it for the first time in 30 years. Must be the best. As there says Gareth in this game, it's not in Brisbane. It's in the Sunshine Coast. It's just outside of Brisbane. See, I know that, what was it that had Brisbane written on it? Because it's in, I can't remember the name of it, but it's called something. The name, one moment. I'm going to see what the name is. It is called Bokarina. Bokarina is the name. And I wasn't sure whether or not that was inside or outside of Brisbane, but someone earlier on said Brisbane, just to throw me off. But yeah, Sunshine Coast Stadium in Bokarina, sorry, for this game. And so I'm sure that's not how you say it. I end up adding way too much tongue roll on that one. But currently now the Fijian Drua, if they score a try now, they could put the dagger in the coffin. It's a penalty. Big time here for the Fijian Drua. If they take the 3, that will give them a... It will give them a 12-point lead here. So who would you pick to win out of Moana Pacific and Fijian Drua? At the moment, to be fair, both sides have played extremely well in this round, I feel. Fijian Drua seem to be really coming right for themselves in this game, but they are up against the Rebels, which are probably more notably one of the weakest sides in Super Rugby, unfortunately for them. So I would say it would be a good contest, a fast-paced one. Like everyone would just be collapsing at the end of that game from pure exhaustion because everyone's going to be offloading flat out, seeing what they can do. But I'd say Moana Pacifica, I like the structure that they have got, but they don't play up against Fijian Drua till a little bit later. So maybe the Fijian Drua will get a little bit more time to kind of, I guess, gel as a team. But this is straight out in front. Kicks it over. And that is now going to make the score 31 points to the Drua, 19 to the Rebels. They were underdogs going into this game, ladies and gentlemen. The Fijian Drua, they were paying $4.25 to win this game. And they are now really carving a hole in this Rebels camp. Kicking off short, trying to retain this ball as quickly as possible. Of course, anything can happen in Super Rugby Pacific. It could be a last-minute try like we saw for the Hurricanes, last-minute try like we saw for the Brumbies. But first of all, they do need to get themselves another form of points, and it has to be a try, in fact. Now, the number 22, little bit of a feint. It doesn't go quite through, and Rebels they need to start again, and there says Aussie Mozzie. That would have been Yosta, who was making his way forward. And, well, at least one real Melbourne team is playing good and something tonight. It says Music Kiwi there, but that is going to be a penalty now in favour of the Fijian Drua. Everything just going against the Rebels at this point in time. This one's also a kickable 3. And if they do get it over, that will actually lead to them having a 15-point lead, and also Fiji and win today and Eyebrow in there. And both island teams have come out come out of the gate swinging this round. Hope it continues, says Chris Hamilton. Exactly right. And it was always going to take a couple weeks or so to really start to, they've gone for the corner, Fiji. Fair play. They've decided with 2.5 minutes remaining, they might as well see if this one does work out for them inside of the 22. But yeah, Moana Pacifica for their very first game were extremely impressive. Fijian Drua in this game, extremely impressive as well. And hopefully we do get to see them both continue that momentum. The Fijian Drua, I believe, next week have the Reds, which is going to be a big game. And let's be honest, if the Rebels and the Satyrs or the Rebels and the Satyrs had like their C team, here's music, Kiwi, I don't know. I mean, the Crusaders, they still had their very good players, like probably missing Lester Faina Nuku, David Havili, and then maybe a couple of the forwards, such as a Joe Moody or someone along those lines. But other than that, they did have a very strong side for themselves. A bit of a counter ruck, but the Fijian Drua are still hanging on to this. Outside of the 22, and how are you, bro, and your family? We're doing very well. We have been doing a little bit of cricket commentary together as of late, and yes, Drua says Suru, but this will be helping them big time in terms of that points table and still continuing to drive their way forward. 5 phases in now for the Fijian Drua. They will need 2 more tries if they do want a chance of getting themselves the bonus point, and that will be the full 5 available. But currently, it looks like they are going to be able to get themselves the 4 perhaps here. And going back across, nicely run forward. Be the El Ravuvu in the midfield and C team or D, it doesn't matter, as I says Abraham. Yeah, at the end of the day, they put out that team, and they did put out the team not to lose a game. Like, that's the thing. No coach goes, okay, we're going to play him, and him so that we can lose this game, because this one doesn't matter. You still go out there and you play a side that you expect to be able to have that reputation. How you not? Oh, Will Jordan. That's a big mistake, isn't it? How do you not mention how they did not have Will Jordan in their team? Although Che Faiaki, I felt, did very well for the Crusaders. He was very impressive at number 15 for that matchup. And hopefully he does get a little bit of game time, and it doesn't matter if it was their C team as well, says Abraham there. But that is going to be the penalty now. And taking the quick tap there for the Rebels. They know they've got 30 seconds left. If they get themselves a try here, they get the bonus point, which will be their first try or their first point of the season. Is it a penalty to the Drua? They're not allowed to go for it. It's another penalty there for the Rebels. And yes, over 30 points, 1 bonus point. And there's Ciro. So unfortunately, they do need 3 or more tries than your opponent. And Jordan is the man. He's definitely a very talented player for the Crusaders. Was he rested or was he injured? Do let me know. Close to the touchline now for the Rebels. Currently sitting 40 meters out, playing the halfback. Another penalty there to the Rebels. And that is about 4 back-to-back in a row. And now taking it quickly here for the Rebels, it is going to be Verdugo taking the line nicely. And the Rebels, if they get out of this game with a point, they'll be pretty happy with that one. And now out the back line, it's starting to open up, trying to get the draw and pass going. Here, very nicely done, straight through. Tackled high, was he? It's going close to the line. Vaiu offloads. And that's going to be the try. And I believe from first glance, it's Ray Nu'u who was able to score it. So that gives them at least the bonus point here for the Rebels. And that is going to be Ray Nu'u. Who was able to score it, and that was in the 80th minute of the game. But that is going to be a little too late for them here for the Rebels. They're saying you feel for the Rebels. They've come out here. It just hasn't quite gone their way. They had a huge amount of handling errors, and also for a side that had the most lineouts won going into this match, certainly didn't go the way that they expected. Now we don't knock it on, and now we don't knock it on. So mad. We should be winning. And there says Xavier Brown, and they kept us modest tonight. Even our A team would have struggled against Moana Pacifica. I think our intensity dropped after the 50-minute mark, says Chris Hamilton. Exactly right. Moana Pacifica, like Lincoln McClutchy's run was just absolutely outstanding, like in that game. And I think him versus Moanga would have been a good battle if Moanga had started. But Simon Hickey, I felt, also did all right for this one. But the Rebels, they now get themselves a bonus point for being within 7. We have currently got another 15 minutes until our next live stream that we are doing on the channel, ladies and gentlemen. That will be the Western Force taking on the Reds and what should be a very exciting encounter. But if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. So Drua will move up to 8th. Drua 2 as well, says Novmam. So I believe that is roughly where they will end up. Oh, Matt Tamui does get that kick over. So they do lose this game by 5 points in the end for the Rebels, but the Fijian Drua, they are hyped up. But we will end up coming back with our table for the next live stream that does have exactly where everyone is standing after this game of rugby. But it was a very good one to watch very back and forth. That seems to be the kind of motto of Super Rugby AU at the moment, is when you have a close game, it's always exciting. Going right down to the wire. And Xavier, do you support the Rebels? He does indeed. I feel so Xavier, or so sorry for Xavier if you do. And congrats, Joe, smashing stuff. And in there, and well, what a great score for the Drua. Says David the Mod, exactly right. A big win for the Fijian Drua here. And now we have not just these two games that we've already covered. We've got one more that is taking place later on tonight. The Western Force taking on the Reds, like I mentioned. And then tomorrow, if it wasn't already hectic enough, ladies and gentlemen, we have got ourselves another 3 matches of Super Rugby Pacific. Blues taking on the Chiefs at 4:35. Hurricanes Highlanders following that game at 7:05. And then the Brumbies taking on the Waratahs. That will be taking place at 9:45. But thank you all very much for tuning in. It's hugely appreciated you guys popping in for this live stream between Fijian Drua and also the Melbourne Rebels. I do appreciate all of the support you guys have been showing, but we will be showing you guys the table at the end, or at the start of the next live stream, I should say, that is going to be coming through. I believe we're starting that one at 11:50 will be when that one does get underway. And well done, Drew, and there says Vishal and also Yo, and that up my Super Brew shake my head, says Paddy Wagon. It's a rough one. As first one for the Drua, says Josh Teki, but of course not a rough one for the Fijian Drua, because no one was backing them. $4.25 they were paying onto the TAB here in New Zealand to be able to get the win in this game. And they went out there and they were able to get themselves a win. When that first try was scored by the Melbourne Rebels, I believe it would have been even more in favour of the Rebels to be able to win that game, when it was Tunamapea did score it in the second minute and get out the bowls and cover. Says Abraham, let's go Fijian Drua. And there says Sam Henry. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. We have got 15 minutes till our next live stream does get underway. I do recommend you guys check out that one as well. We will be talking this game, the game before. And we'll see you next game just around the corner. Says Vishal, it is indeed. And we will be back for their next matchup. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Hope to see you for the Western Force versus Reds in a short moment. And I will see you all for the next one.